Hope you're all doing good today. You're all doing well. It's time for another episode of Speedruns From the Crypt, your bi-weekly horror hotfix. I'm your host, Dices, and before we get to the games, I just have a couple of announcements for you on just general GDQ news. First things first, Awesome Games Done Quick 2026 will be live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania from January 4th to the 10th. Registration is now open, so be sure to register if you want to experience the event in person. You can visit gdq.gg for more info on that. As well, we have an event coming up this weekend, the first ever GDQ Hotfix Disability and Neurodivergence Special is taking place on November 29th to the 30th, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern each day. The special will benefit the Autistic Women and Non-Binary Network, and you can view the schedule right now by typing !DND in the chat, and we hope to see you there. So for today, it's Thanksgiving in the US of A. It is Thanksgiving, holiday about coming together, and what more so than to have a horror game showcase of family coming together. Although I think this is one Thanksgiving dinner you might not want to be invited to. But maybe you'll find some enjoyment in it. We're going to be taking a big look at one of my favorite horror games. I have a few categories in it, Resident Evil 7, and we're going to be amping it up all the way through. I have an excellent runner to showcase this for you, very talented at the game, and it should be quite fun just seeing how much goes into these runs. Anyway, to kick things off, we're going to be having Resident Evil 7 Madhouse new game with Captain Ezekiel. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Ek. Hello, everybody. Like I said, my name is Captain Ezekiel. I have showcased RE7 Madhouse new game on the hotfix now for Thanksgiving specifically, I think 3 times. And I love coming back every year just to remind you guys of the greatest family we've ever seen in a horror franchise. And boy, are they great. We're doing a lot of stuff today. We're doing Madhouse new game. We're doing Not a Hero Professional, which is the DLC that canonically follows immediately after the main game. And then we're doing End of Zoe, Joe Must Die, which is also the hardest difficulty of End of Zoe. All back to back to back. So you're going to see a whole lot of RE7. You're going to see the whole anthology, the whole canonical story. But before I get started, I'm joined on commentary by the one and the only, the same person who's there on every commentary I do for RE7. You want to introduce yourself?
Hey, everybody. My name is Yiddle. And as Zeke said, yeah, we've done this like a lot. We've done this a lot of times now, haven't we?
Yeah.
But yeah, I speedrun Resident Evil 7, Silent Hill 2, all sorts of fun horror stuff, and very excited to see Zeke knock out all 3 of these insane categories in the hardest difficulties. But yeah.
All right. Yeah, I appreciate you being here, and thank you again, Ek, for having me on. So time will start as soon as I confirm here. So I'll count down from 3. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Thank you. So Madhouse. If you're unfamiliar with RE7 Madhouse, I recently ran this at Summer Games Done Quick 2025, where I ran this exact category. If you haven't seen it in recent years, it's very different than RE7 usually is. We have a lot of different things, where Madhouse being the hardest difficulty, things hit a lot harder. We do a lot less damage. Ammo and weapon routing is very, very important and very, very different. And on top of that, we have a very cool, very elaborate out of bounds that we'll talk about when we get to it. But there's a whole lot that goes into it. But since we're doing kind of the anthology, the trilogy, we're doing all of the story. I guess I'll explain what the story really is if you're not familiar with 7. That lady you saw on the screen there was Mia Winters. That's our wife. We're playing as Ethan Winters. One day we get a DM, essentially, that's like, hey, I'm stuck in Louisiana. Please help me out here. Come pick me up. And we're just like, all right, we got nothing going on. So sure. So Ethan, having not seen his wife for 3 years, gets this anonymous email from her. And she says she's out here in Dulvey, Louisiana. And so we get up in our muscle car and we drive all the way out to Louisiana. And only good things happen from there.
Yeah, pretty much. Ethan is truly him.
Yeah, he really is. Like he's like the guy. That's like dream husband material, is some dude who works in like finance who's willing to be like, I'll go to Louisiana after not seeing you for 3 years.
It's easy.
But yeah, so this is Madhouse, as Zeke was saying. Everything is like just crazy hard. Checkpoints are extremely sparse in this run. Really not a lot. There's some very punishing sections that are followed by the additional punishment of just no checkpoints. And that's going to kind of be a theme in all of the runs tonight.
Yeah, definitely a big pain point, especially in End of Zoe. There's like very little checkpoints on Joe Must Die, so there's that one's really rough. But Joe Must Die is really, really brutal, and so that'll be really exciting to show off. But yeah, so we sit through this first cutscene where we kind of pull up. We sort of have control of Ethan right now, but we'll actually get full control in just a moment before we enter into our introduction part of the game. Which is called Guest House. And, we've talked a lot about Guest House before at a lot of different times I've ran this game, but it never really gets any different. It's going to be the same points of conversation where we talk about Guest House sometimes feels like it's a slow slog that we kind of run through, but it has these pain moments, especially on Madhouse, that require some significant effort to make sure we don't actually just die, because we have to do 2 boss fights in it that are really, really brutal.
Yeah, Guest House gets a lot of flack. People are like, oh, it's like a 15-minute walking section, blah, blah, blah. But there is so much that goes into optimizing Guest House and getting this 15-minute section down. We do have to, there are some forced walking sections and stuff like that, but everything in between that has to be very specifically precise. And there is just a constant possibility of death if everything goes horribly, horribly wrong.
Yeah, Madhouse is especially brutal. Like I mentioned earlier, everything does a lot more damage to us, and it's not really like a small amount of damage. It's like double the damage, if not more. So dying as Ethan is significantly easier when you're running around in Madhouse. And Guest House, the death possibility comes specifically from Mia. Whereas in the rest of the game, we could die to a lot of different things, just molded in general, and something called cheap shotting. And especially, I think the number one proprietor of death is Jack Baker when we eventually get to that guy. So I'm going to do a retry here. This retry, we only get a couple of them in Madhouse since we don't really have many checkpoints, but that one specifically speeds us up. The game essentially puts us back to the speed we had when we were outside running around, where we're I'd say about 50% faster. And now we get that speed back, which is a really, really nice little time. So we do it twice in Guest House, one towards the end as well.
Yep. And you're going to see the first instance of swapping FPS here. We do have FPS shenanigans in this run, quite a decent amount of them, and it is to our benefit. Ultimately, it makes some sections just a lot more consistent across both the main game and the DLCs, really. So anytime you see Zeke go into the menu, he's going to be dropping down to 30 FPS. In that case, it was just to squeeze through that little crawl spot a little bit faster. And there's actually a very specific sort of tech that you have to do to gain the benefit of being in 30 FPS in that spot, because any time we spend in 30 FPS, we are actually a little bit slower than being uncapped or above, 240 FPS.
Yeah, the FPS shenanigans play a lot of different roles in this. The number one being for speed, the number two being for safety, especially in Madhouse. There's a lot of moments where we'll switch to 30 FPS simply because it's safer to run past molded. That would otherwise be like body blocking a hallway or just a lot of them ready to hit you, and it kind of reduces the chance of being cheap shotted and getting hit multiple times in said cheap shot. And the reason for that is because at lower and higher FPS, it kind of works in the inverse, where at lower FPS, when you hit something, you're kind of really only getting the one registered hit of it most of the time. At a higher FPS, you can get multiple registered hits of something, leading you to do big damage with certain melee weapons, which you will see later.
Yeah. Also, just to throw it out there, we did a small skip looking at the wall to the right as we're coming through that little watery, gross, disgusting whatever that is. And that skips the jump scare of the dead body bobbing up in the water. And then there was also a really minor thing that you wouldn't have necessarily seen, but as Zeke was going to pick up those bolt cutters, he actually switched to walking instead of running by crouching twice really, really fast. So basically double crouch at the same time. We usually double bind for that. And the reason for that is because there's a weird acceleration that Ethan has where if you pick up an item, he comes to a full stop, and you can skip that by intentionally forcing the walk. And since there is no, we have a shift to run button, but there is no walk button. So the way to avoid that is by double crouching really fast. He's doing it back and forth right there. But really minor. There's a few other, 2 other spots, I think, in the whole run that it's used.
Yeah, it's an interesting tech. We kind of call it walk tech, but it's kind of a lazy name for it, but that's essentially what it is. And like Niddle was explaining, when we're running like this and we go to pick up an item, the game is going to full stop you when you do it. Whereas if you're walking when you pick it up, or when you're aiming a gun and you pick it up, it'll actually prevent that from happening. So if you time it correctly, you can pick stuff up without ever full stopping. It was a tech that we actually discovered from Resident Evil Village, that we discovered was the thing in that game. And then when we came back over to this one, it was discovered that we could do it here as well, much later into the game's life. So it's a minor optimization, but with how actual optimized this game became and how fast it is now, those like half seconds to 1 second add up quite a bit, like significantly over the run, I would say.
Yeah. It's, in terms of going for top times, they've become kind of necessary.
Yeah, they're super important. We're kind of walking behind Mia here. This is like one of the forced walking sections that I was talking about earlier, where we can't really do anything. We set up our inventory a little bit, so I guess I'll mention the inventory. RE7 has, in my opinion, the greatest inventory of any Resident Evil title we've seen to date. It has this live inventory system, so you can see how the game runs behind it, and I can move and interact and do stuff while the game is moving. So I deleted an item out and set my cursor to a spot because the game remembers where my cursor was. So this lets me use key items faster. Since key items actually go directly into our normal inventory, we don't have like a key items inventory like you would see in Resident Evil 4. We have just the normal inventory. So having stuff preset like this makes it so I can interact with stuff much faster. And that is actually one of the biggest like skill barriers of the run. And one of the biggest things for new runners to learn is how to like set up your inventory and know where to go and where everything should be, because you want it to be almost the same every time you do a run. Madhouse is especially difficult with it because we have to pick up a lot of stuff, like a lot of resources, ammo, weapons, etc. Because we're doing this on New Game. We're not doing New Game Plus. So we don't get infinite ammo. We don't get like the Albert or the chainsaw. We get what we get. And so the inventory fills up really fast.
Yeah, and between the ammo that we need, the weapons, the key items, we are absolutely pressed for inventory space. Little thing there, you saw Zeke staring at the wall. That he was waiting for a trigger for when Mia gets taken. There's a specific spot that you can stand, and there's kind of like an audio cue. It's really minor. There's a little piano, and then you kind of count to 4, and she gets taken. The smart thing to do is actually to wait until you hear the audio of Mia getting taken, because if you go too fast, you kind of look like an idiot and you have to wait.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer, because then you go back to try to make it happen again, and then you mess it up again, and then you do it again, and it feels horrible. But now Mia also is throwing us across the room. Like, things are different now. Mia doesn't look too good. Like she's looking a little possessed, a little like Tiffany-esque from like Chucky, like she actually is going to carve the turkey.
It's the
she wants Thanksgiving dinner. She wants the stuffing and the mashed potatoes.
This is what happens.
5, it's 7.
Yeah, it's what happens when it takes too long.
Oh, that's actually the worst.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and remove our VSync. This is going to just basically uncap my FPS, and I'll have Niddle explain why in just a moment. As you can see, our screen's red. That means we're at 1 HP. When it's this red like this. On Madhouse, we get put to 1 health here, whereas on Easy, you normally get put to about half health here. You can typically resist that damage, but we don't want to because it's slower. We take the full damage, and Mia's gonna knock herself out, and then we're put on a timer to wake her up, and in which case I'm gonna grab some heals. But we're coming up on the Mia 1 boss fight. I'll let Niddle explain what's about to happen here with this fight.
Yeah, so you're gonna see him just run into the bathroom and grab some heals because we are 1 HP. And the way this fight's going to work is, if done correctly, you can get her in 1, usually 2 hits on Madhouse. And it's a pretty specific lineup, and you need Ethan to swing the axe in the right direction. So we're going to wake up Mia. She's going to throw us through the wall with her Hulk strength. And then you're going to see Zeke look straight to the right to grab the axe, grab it as soon as possible. And he's going to run up to Mia and then crouch as he swings. And 2.
Oh, it's going to be 4.
Yeah. 4. Yeah. So optimally, you can do that in 2, I think, on Madhouse, right? Like 1 is unrealistically.
Yeah,
difficult.
one is unrealistically, and 2 to about 3 is the average. It kind of depends on like how lucky you get with your clipped hits. And it's more positional based. I think I messed up my spot a little bit there, but 4 hits is usually you'll take that. It's better than, after that, she starts to kind of go off the rails and starts beating you up a lot. So If you don't die, that's a W, basically.
Yeah. So the reason that he uncapped there, you saw him go into his settings and actually turn off VSync, is because the more frames we get for that, the better chance we have of doing multi-hits. And you can usually hear it, like when you get the multi-hit. He definitely got a couple multi-hits in there, because otherwise if you get no multi-hits in that fight, you're swinging like 7 or 8 times minimum.
Yeah.
So you'll notice it probably a lot more in the second Mia fight. But when you clip into her hitbox just right, you can get off like 10 hits in one, essentially. And you saw another retry there. That's once again just to give us the outdoor running speed.
Yeah, the clip hits are really satisfying. Hopefully you'll hear it on Mia too. It's like this very large, chunky noise, as though an axe did hit like 1,000 times.
Yeah.
It can be sometimes jarring how loud it can get, depending on how many you get in one hit. But that's coming up here in just a moment. You can see this is kind of our first instance of the inventorying mattering a lot, where I have my inventory set up to use the bolt cutters, and I had it set up so I could use the fuse. It's all planned. Everything is planned and on purpose for the most part, unless we die, in which case that is not planned and on purpose. But everything else is planned and on purpose. Mia's back again. She didn't actually die. That's a reoccurring theme here, by the way. Nothing's actually dead ever. Nothing actually stays dead. One thing I will mention is we're playing on the Steam version of the game, which a lot of you are probably saying that this is all normal. For the speedrun, historically, we ran on the censored Japanese version, where instead of this screwdriver, it'd be like a little gardening pitchfork, and we'd be censored out of a lot of these cutscenes to save time. But we actually made up a rule now in the RE7 community where Steam, which is naturally 30 seconds slower than Cereity, is now competitive with it. We've given the time back we took the time away from Cereity, so now everyone's on an equal playing field. I like to play on Steam. I know Niddle does too now, because Cereity became very inconsistent and horrible on Windows 11, basically.
Yeah, it straight up doesn't run for me. So we once again get to see the glory of the uncensored version, which I think everybody agreed was the superior version anyway. Yeah.
I'm also going to be making safety saves, since we do not really get checkpoints in Madhouse, and they lose me a little bit of time, but it's better than the alternate version of that, where I don't save and I lose 20 minutes of the progress. So we don't want none of that happening.
Yeah, there's going to be a few safety saves, and they are there for a reason, because this game is very, very punishing about the checkpoints in Madhouse. And it's a fun lesson. Okay, so setting up for Mia 2 here, you're going to see Zeke line up with the wall in a specific way. He's going to crouch and clip into her.
That second one was good.
Decent.
She's almost dead.
Yeah.
She's one hit.
Yeah, nice.
She was one hit from dead on that. That's great. Still a pretty good fight, though.
Yeah, that was pretty nice. Anytime she is facing you directly, like head on, that is a very, very dangerous spot for you to be in. So optimally, you kind of get her down. You tried.
Yeah, I tried. I hit her leg.
Just, like swing.
Yeah, I hit her. Mia can ragdoll like crazy for the first couple seconds after you kill her, and she'll get stuck in whatever position she ends up in. You can fling her into the rafters. You can really throw her anywhere around the room.
I'm not gonna lie. The way Mia is right now, that might be me tomorrow night.
after Thanksgiving, yeah,
after dinner, you just
passed out. And welcome to the family, by the way. There, he said the line.
He said the thing.
Well, Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And now Jack is being the humble host that he is, rather, and he's going to bring us to Thanksgiving dinner because maybe we're a little tired in the morning, so the best way to do is just to drag us across the lawn, and we're gonna go have food? Question mark. Yeah.
So while we see the baker's spread, what's your guys' your favorite part, like foods of Thanksgiving?
Oh, stuffing. I'm a stuffing guy every day of the week,
I like
dude.
stuffing.
I will mess up stuffing and mashed potatoes and gravy. Those two are like my goats.
We were talking about it earlier, but the creamed onions, those little pearl onions in the cream sauce. Oh, dude. All about it. How do you guys feel about meat brand canned meat? Do you guys like that?
Trademark.
Because I think that might be our Thanksgiving dinner at the Baker House.
Yeah, we're gonna have
canned
brand
pepper and like entrails.
There's a candle in the branded canned meat.
Well, somebody ate it already.
Yeah.
So.
And they have like 2 beers.
That's some Dovey beer right there. Has an alligator on it.
The grandma, by the way, she has like a teacup. I'm just realizing this.
She's hanging out. She ate too much of the
teacup.
meat brand meat.
I like her wheelchair. It has like hydraulic springs, by the way.
Oh, it does. Oh my god.
It's got shots.
Granny too. Because you know how like she jumps around throughout the game, like different locations.
Yeah.
I found it only once, but she can end up under like the floorboards in the early game.
So that happens in between when you're supposed to go to the Lucas section. There is never a reason for you to be in that crawl space area, but Granny does appear under the house there. Yeah.
It's hilarious. Like, why is she down there?
I don't know. And it is really funny because like there's no reason for the player to go back there. You've done everything in the main house at that point. Like it is time to go, you know?
I think it was when I was trying to learn the Madhouse speedrun, like I think I did a casual playthrough and I just had no idea where an item was going into, I think the Lucas section. It's like, oh, I guess I have to look around all over the house to find what I need. And then I was random like, okay, it can't be back here, right? I'll check it just in case. And then just see an old woman in the crawl space. Like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Just hanging out. Checking for rats. That was Guest House, and now we're at one of the worst parts of the game. I think unanimously agreed. Yeah, very fun. Yeah. This is hallway.
Yeah. So the order of operations here is going to be Jack's going to be at the end of the hallway. Zeke needs to kind of evade his swing/grab here, depending on what he decides to do. Nice. We're going to grab the key. We're going to look at the door really quick. That's just to hit a trigger. Nice. Zeke is setting up for wall skip. Oh, he's close, dude. So the thing is, in Madhouse, Jack moves just faster than Ethan. So guaranteed, Jack will catch up to you. It's really, really hard, but there is a strat where you can get Jack stuck around the corner and have him break through the wall early. That was actually really nice, all things considered.
He didn't teleport. He almost always teleports, but he just didn't.
I think everybody's probably experienced the leg chop at some point if you've played this game for any length of time. That is something we really need to avoid in the speedrun.
Yeah, that is a 1 minute time loss, and it's like the crawl of shame.
Yeah. So cheater skip right here. By having high FPS, Zeke is able to trigger that phone call before it's intended. Normally, we would have to go to the door and sort of touch the door and walk through the doorway a little bit, and then the phone call happens. But if your FPS is high enough, you can actually, it sort of like messes with where Ethan's position is on the map, and the game thinks that he already touched the door.
Yeah, the game basically checks for whether or not Ethan has left the room, and when you crawl to that whole high FPS, he very briefly, for like a frame or two, gets teleported to the outside terrace. And so the game's like, oh, you're in the outside terrace, you've left the room, the phone call should go off.
Yeah. And then just touching the corner there is the final step in triggering the cop appearing at the window. A lot of people who tried this run for the first time, they're like, oh, I can't get the cop to appear at the window. It's the specific combination of looking at the door at the end of the hallway, like interacting with it as if you have the key, and then touching that little corner in the kitchen, and that triggers the cop.
Yeah.
Deputy David Anderson, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
Deputy David Anderson, also known as Deputy Chevelle, for reasons you're going to learn about shortly. He's a very long-lived and beloved character. Big fan of this guy. He does great work. He technically is like probably the most pivotal character in the game because he gives him a knife and that gives him stuff.
I mean, arguably he ties the whole like trilogy together. This guy is critical in the Resident Evil 7 plus universe, you know?
Yeah, key protagonist in the whole franchise right here, basically, right? Like, very important because if you go back to the mold, you go back to Resident Evil Village, you get to Miranda, it all comes back to Deputy David Anderson. It all comes back to him.
And I bet none of you even knew his name was David Anderson until just now.
Otherwise, he's here because he heard a report about that the baker spread.
Yeah. Heard you guys were having a great meal.
Yeah.
Well, I figured he was coming here to arrest them after after that horrible display. What, the canned meat, the organs.
The bottom side of Ethan's hand was just red, and I've never seen the bottom side of his hand be just red. It's very confusing. So we're coming up on Jack 1, very straightforward fight. Not really a whole lot to him. Even on Madhouse, he's relatively forgiving because it's more or less a scripted fight that we're essentially set to use the car to kill him with. But we're actually doing it in a different way. We will actually be using our weapons for it. Deputy Chevelle, on the other hand, here is going to be on the receiving end of a very rigorous shoveling. And thankfully for us, though, we get his gun for it.
He was staring at Ethan. He knows we did not press any button to lower the door. So that's just a crazy thing. That's on him, I think, honestly.
It really, really is.
So coming around here, Zeke's going to grab a few things. The key to the car is actually inside of the box in Madhouse. That is specific to this difficulty. Just a nice little troll. And the goal here is to get Jack into the car. As you saw, we're basically manipulating him. We get into the car and Jack's like, hold up, I want to get into the car. But then we get out of the car and Jack continues to get in the car. And then a few headshots with the Glock, and that's Jack 1. Simple.
Yeah, very, like I said, he's generally a very forgiving fight. This looks right. All right.
Yeah.
Jack's gonna walk at us, and we don't want to get grabbed by him, so we're gonna cut up his legs a little bit and make him stagger, so we just buy time for the car to explode. If Jack grabs you, loses a couple seconds because it kind of delays the car exploding, and we don't really want that to happen. So he's gonna hang out over there, and that's Jack 1. Certainly, I would say the easiest, tied for the easiest of all the bosses in this run. Marge 1 being probably the other easy one, but I'd say maybe she's a little bit harder. He's not actually dead. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
He's still alive.
Get me going.
Now he's actually dead.
For real this time.
100% for real confirmed.
He does not come back. So we haven't mentioned it, but in Madhouse, you have to pick up these antique coins because actually there's a key item, the Scorpion key specifically, that instead of getting it the normal way, you get it by using the coins, which is one of a few cool differences in Madhouse, just in terms of how the game kind of makes you progress. So normally you would have to do the whole clock puzzle and all that stuff. Instead, you just pick up the 3 coins and now you have access to the basement, which is cool. Although we're not exactly going to be taking the most straightforward way to the basement.
Yeah, we might be taking a couple extra doors, possibly. Maybe taking a little extra scenic routing. Actually, not scenic routing, technically faster, but not the dev intended path, that is for sure.
Yeah.
And
Grabbing
that
the last antique coin.
Yeah. Now we have all 3. We can get this. We get the clock head. The process of said routing is going to start right now.
Yep. So we have spawned Jack again. Jack is now in roaming Jack mode, which is perhaps the most terrifying of the modes. He's basically going to follow us around the house as we go do all these things. So you're going to see Zeke take some shots here. Those are not misclicks. Those are for a very specific reason. You can sort of reset Jack's AI when you shoot. So he's going to be shooting in a few spots just to reset his AI. While he comes around, he collected the broken shotgun. He's getting the other dog head. Just staggering Jack because you saw he is so fast when he's like off camera. He just kind of like stomps around. Coming over this way, gonna do the clock puzzle, grab the other dog head. And this is kind of a spooky part right here.
Yeah, we'd like to see Jack make an appearance. I don't want to force the wall break, but it looks like he went and took a vacation. So we're going to kind of have to adapt on the fly here with this. What I'm going to do is I was actually going to try to shoot him, but I pulled out my knife. This damage here is kind of important. It's a very interesting thing because Jack broke through the wall, which means every value of health he had reset. I need him not to beat me out here. Okay, yep. This is good.
Dropping off the dog heads, putting the Scorpion key in the door, not opening the door.
Oh, Jack is hanging out.
He lost the plot. Yeah.
Come on, buddy. I know you're in here.
Yeah. He had like the Santa hair thing going on right there.
Yeah, he had like the pure white hair.
Yeah.
He's gonna catch up to me here. He's doing.
Oh, he's juking.
Okay, this is fine. He's gonna take a grab or a swing. right through my block. That's my favorite. All right. Let me just give him a second to collect himself, and then I'm going to leg him. We are in critical, which is not amazing. If I get to this wall in time, did I get it in time? That was the craziest thing ever.
Oh my God.
That I got
was
to that
insane.
wall in time.
That was like frame perfect.
Yeah, I don't know how I got there in time, but thankfully now we're out of bounds. We're kind of free from danger for a little bit. We don't have a heal right now, but that's okay because we're not going to get hit. And now we're going to...
That was a crazy save, man.
Yeah, I don't know how I managed that one. Go to 60 here so we don't accidentally fall in bounds. And now we're out of bounds, by the way. After all that,
Yeah.
we're out of bounds.
Yeah. So there's a very specific order of operations of things that we need to do while we're out of bounds. And you saw Zeke crouch there. That was specifically to lower his height so that he can fall into the porch. He's going to come over here. This is a safety save, which really needs to exist during this section because you can very easily sort of soft lock or hard lock your save file in Madhouse, essentially. He's going to come down here and very specific lineup on the stairs to be at the right height here. And we are now out of the house completely, heading to the old house. And we're on our way to get the crow key, actually, which normally we would have to do a whole bunch of stuff in old house. It's kind of a pain. There's like bugs. They're really annoying. Taking a very specific line here because there's a lot of like props and stuff that can just load in and get you stuck. Grabbing a fire round also, since that's out of bounds, as well as a heal, some gunpowder, opening the case, grabbing the crow key. You saw Zeke just pop that green herb just there because Zeke was not, Jack was not playing nice on the staircase.
No, Jack gave me a good talking to. That's for sure.
Grabbing the backpack here because our inventory, as you may notice, is like quite full. So purely because, or mostly because of this out of bounds routing, like we need that inventory space. Otherwise we would not be able to carry all the things that we're trying to get. And oh my gosh, he fell. He voided out.
I messed up.
Oh no. How could this happen? That is intentional because the game teleports you back to the last quote unquote safe location that you were at if you void out. Which very fortunately, big shout outs to Salad for finding this out, happens to be right at the porch, which is where we want to be, because now we are ready to head down to the basement. First, we're going to grab the repair kit, which means that we can repair the broken shotgun, which normally you would not have any way to do when you're fighting Jack 2. There's in a casual playthrough, you have no way of doing that. I love how he just pops back into the staircase. We are now full Smeathan as we head down the stairs here, and just grabbing some extra stuff. The height is very important here. So you'll notice like Zeke is kind of like navigating underneath and away from certain obstacles, and that is because certain things can push Ethan further down. And right now we don't want to go any further down. Our height is kind of like at a very specific spot where we can interact with stuff, but also not get stuck on walls. Doing a little bit of Jack's 55th inventorying there, combining some items. And now Zeke is safe to uncrouch, and we're going to head to the Jack 2 fight. More combining. Have to pass by the deputy out of bounds. Really fortunate that this staircase works how it does. It's able to get us back up to the height that we need to be at, and then just going 30 here to prevent the wall from loading in so that we can actually clip back into it. And very well done, dude. Nice recovery after the staircase.
Yeah, it was definitely spooky. Missing a little bit of health here, and I cannot use this heal until after I break the box in the arena, and I'll explain that in a minute. But first, we have to do Jack 2, which is definitely a big step up from Jack 1, and definitely I'm gonna have to focus for a lot of my boss fights. Niddle, take it away on this one.
Yep, so 4 shots with the enhanced ammo in the face will get him down, and then 2 shots plus 2 shotgun to get him to stagger into the fence. He's gonna open up, grab the chainsaw, switch FPS to 60. That is because the chainsaw has some weird damage properties at different frame rates. So crouch here, 3 shots to the head, 4 shots to stagger him, and then chainsaw with the pause buffering to try and get as much damage in as possible. Nice. Very well done. Ooh. And that is Jack 2.
That is Jack. Just checking away. I can't remember if there's a heal here, but that's actually on easy, I'm pretty sure.
He's dead for real this time, right?
Yeah, 100% for real. He's actually dead this time. We did it. We actually won. We found our wife, which means we killed her, and then we killed this old guy. So I think that means we did it.
Yeah.
He invited you to his house.
Ethan is just a terror.
He had you over for dinner, man.
Yeah.
And then you clipped through his walls, you robbed his house, and you killed him.
The lad cries you a sweater of tears.
Well, I mean, he didn't have any stuffing, so I kind of get it.
Yeah.
I didn't see any stuffing on the table.
I'm going to take a little mini detour, grab some backup ammo here, just in the event that we don't get any drops later. I just want to make sure we're fine. That only do this is a couple seconds. But the reason I didn't want to use that heal before opening that box is because this game has a logical looting system, the same way most Resident Evils do now in the current generation, where depending on what you have and depending on like where you're sitting on ammo, health, and resources, it will drop you what you essentially are needing. So I wanted to make sure I had a heal in my inventory, so that game was that box was more likely to drop me shotgun ammo, which we desperately need for the March 2 boss fight. But other than Jack 2 giving us a real, 1-2 on the stairs there, that was actually pretty solid. I can't complain.
Yeah. Yeah, that out of bounds, it cannot be understated, like how hard that out of bounds is just to do, let alone do it fast and not get soft locked or totally stuck somewhere. There's a lot of just random boxes. If your height is not correct, you can't interact with the the shelves. You can't pick up some of the key items. It's it's just kind of crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it for sure.
For what it's worth, I think this is the third year we've had Madhouse on for Thanksgiving. I think.
Yeah, I'd say I think 3 years. Yeah.
It's just been kind of neat watching the setups and the strat adapt, because I remember, I think it was 2 years ago where the strat debuted.
Yeah, I think we showed it off for the first time. I want to say it was probably last year when we did it for the first time, because I think it was actually fully developed about a year and a half ago. So I think last year we showed it off for the first time, but I think the first 2 times we did this,
that might be right.
There were the routing changed from the first time I did this to the second time we did this in terms of the weapon routing and in terms of the out of bounds changed a little bit, but then it changed dramatically, and that's where we're at now. Where SGDQ was the second time we showed it off, and it was the first time GDQ on a main stage had ever seen it.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
It's kind of crazy that it took a long time for that to be developed. And again, shout out to Demented Salad for kind of labbing that out and struggling for hours and hours to figure out something that worked.
Yeah, it's truly impressive the amount of hours he spent. He doesn't even run the game, by the way. He runs some of the DLCs, but he does not run the main game. And he did it simply out of spite, is what he told me. He did it out of spite of the game. Of he doesn't hate the game, but he hated that the out of bounds looks very breakable, but it wasn't very broken. And he took that as a challenge. And after some months of grinding it out, he pieced together something pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, this is Marge, by the way, with a very warm welcome.
Yeah, we are now in Old House. Kind of a funny section now that we've already picked up the key items that we needed out of this section during the out of bounds. This is that swamp mess that we were walking through during the out of bounds, right before we voided out. So we actually already have everything that we need here. We can just kind of go straight to March 1, which is really nice because the bugs in this section and just some of the things that it requires you to do with the crank, they could just kind of lose time and take a lot of damage for no reason. These centipedes, by the way, not native to Louisiana. They're native to Japan.
These are not native to here. Also, basements are not a thing in Louisiana.
Yeah, that's also
not a thing. I don't.
Shout outs to Carsey.
Shout outs to Carsey. The original reference, the original information. All right, I guess there's that, and the basement thing. I think, or I remember one of the donations during Carcinogen's AGDQ run where it was the donator who pointed out some things as well. I think it's funny because a lot of it is essentially just like lost in translation in terms of what the vision was. And as obviously a Japanese developed game, they don't live over here, so they wouldn't know, most of the time that basements are common in the States, not common in Louisiana.
I just want to point out the baker spread, right? They have one spice on the table, pepper. And Cajun food is supposed to be like some of the best, most bountiful, filled with spice foods imaginable.
Yeah.
They have pepper.
They could use.
Where's the Old Bay?
Where's the Old Bay? Yeah.
They don't even have that. They only have pepper. I don't even think it's filled. It's just there for decoration.
March 1.
Yeah. Really simple. We're gonna do a flame round, 3 pistol, shotgun, and then the rest pistol. There's flame round, shotgun, boom, pistol, dead. Easy.
Yeah. Very quick fight. The only difficult thing about that fight is it takes some practice to get really good with your weapon swapping so that you can kill her fast enough, because you're kind of on a timer there to kill her, or else she's going to fall backwards and kind of spawn some bugs and waste some time. But we killed her pretty quickly, so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
It's funny, you mentioned Old Bay seasoning. When we play End of Zoe, I know a fella who's going to want some of that for the raw crawfish he's going to be eating.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, our poor boy Joe. No Old Bay.
No Old Bay. So yeah, the old house used to actually be kind of a much longer section when we had the old routing, but now that we have this out of balance, it's actually cut down by 80%. We're essentially done with the old house almost. We just have to go kill March 2 and then do the lantern part. We're actually gonna do one skip before. This skip's been around for 6 years now, I want to say, maybe almost 7. This is called Lantern Skip. So ideally the game wants me to go up and around and try to go through that door, but it's locked. It's gonna be like, oh, you need a lantern, and we run back down here. We watch Marge transform, and then we can jump down the hole. But if we go over here before the invisible wall spawns and look up, the game thinks we looked at it, and now if I line up correctly and then I jump down at a specific angle where Ethan lands like this, we skip that whole transformation. Yes, thank you. Now we get to just go and avoid all that. Saves 15, 17 seconds. It's actually pretty monstrous.
Yeah, there's 3 or 4 different outcomes that can happen, and only one of them is the good one. You can kind of jump over the hole, and then you have to watch Marge pick up the lantern, and then you can fall into the hole. The worst one is you fall into the hole and Marge doesn't appear at all, and then you have to climb out of the hole, and it's really embarrassing.
Yeah, it's another crawl of shame. There's a couple of crawls of shame in this run. It's when you get your leg cut off and when you have to crawl back out of the hole and go back down the normal way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a safety save here, just in the event that something goes wrong. I'm not anticipating anything to go wrong, but I've been running RE7 now for 7 years, and I will be damned if I say that stuff doesn't go wrong. Stuff certainly goes wrong. I've been around the block quite a bit with this game. We're pretty good on ammo, and March 2 is by far my favorite fight. It's actually a very complicated and very delicate fight. Niddle's going to refer to it as a delicate dance, which is very accurate to what it is. So, Niddle, if you want to go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, so jumping in, he did a special drop there to get a little quick drop. We're going to go flame round at the window, and then 2 shotgun and 10 enhanced shots. And you see him doing quick shots there, which is a special tech to shoot a little faster. We're going to look around the corner, wait a little bit, pistol just to knock her down, and then shotgun to her nest till it breaks. Throw a flame round in there. The flame round is actually doing damage over time. You can see her on fire. You saw Zeke open the cabinet. Now 4 shotgun rounds, just kind of locking and loading. And then Zeke is actually going to come over here and craft a flame round mid-fight. He's going to wait for Marge to climb back up in the ceiling. He's going to reload everything, shotgun out of the ceiling, and then flame round for more damage over time. And then we're going to do a little bit of in-between shotgun and enhanced pistol juggling until she's dead. More flame round again for the damage over time. And some more enhanced pistol. She's going to crawl up the wall. She actually has some very specific animations that she can't be killed during. That's why you saw Zeke intentionally wait there. Nice. Just because doing that damage, it still does damage, but it can't drop her to 0 HP. And that's March 2.
Yeah, that actually got a little spooky. She jumped at a different angle than she normally does, and I thought she put herself in a really weird spot, which made me stutter my steps a bit. And I was one misstep away from that going completely off the rails and her going away. But thankfully we did enough damage, but we got it nice. I'm very glad that did not go south.
Yeah, that's a really fun looking fight. Just like the way you go around the corner, you bait her to come out, you knock her out of the ceiling, and then you have time in the fight to actually craft and reload all your weapons before you have to get her out of the ceiling again.
Yeah, that's why RE7 has the best inventory. Right there. It's for moments
being
like
able
that.
to do that stuff mid-fight is super cool.
Yeah, it's definitely the good part about it too is it's when you're in a fight and when I'm looking at the ground, I have to craft. If you need a couple extra seconds to do it, March is just going to wait up there for you. So it's like you get time to learn how to do it fast, and you only get rewarded for getting better at it, which is always just such a nice feeling. But now we got the lantern.
It's super cool being able to manipulate her, because if you don't stand in the specific spots that Zeke was doing and looking in directions and stuff like that, she can spawn anywhere in the house. She'll start going crazy. And once that fight goes off the rails, it goes really off the rails. Like sometimes she spawns upstairs, sometimes she spawns in the room across that you have to like unlock on the wall.
It's the worst. It's actually the worst in the world, because when she's on the wall, she spawns this nest, and you have to use extra ammo. And our ammo routing is already pretty tight in this run. For reference, I didn't get any shotgun drops there, which means we only have 3 shells right now. So I have to be a little conservative with my ammo going into the remaining part of the run. Which thankfully shouldn't be too bad if I utilize my shots correctly and dodge mode without getting hit. And now, you know, that I've said that, I'm about to get so unbelievably owned.
Super cheap shot.
I'm about to get
the
so
action happens as well. Apparently, there's a minor correction in chat. They're saying that in Louisiana, they would not be having Old Bay seasoning; they'd be having Tony's.
Oh, see, I knew Old Bay was wrong. Old Bay is like Boston, right?
Apparently, it's around New England. They're saying, I think, Maryland specifically.
See, I kind of shout outs to chat for knowing their spice.
Yeah, see, I've only ever seen Old Bay like here. I mean, I don't live anywhere near water. I mean, I do, I guess, but like not like the big water. You know, I live in
not the big water.
I live in the place with a lot of small water.
I would say there's great water near you.
There's a lot of great water near me. I live in Minnesota. There's a lot of water. It's just not as big as the big water. We got a lot of the small water, but not a lot of we don't got the big water.
You have great water and a mini soda.
I feel less bad about messing up the Old Bay thing, Mr. Big Water over here.
Yep.
So done with Old House now. We don't have to come back here. All good.
We got lakes. We don't got ocean. Everybody says this RE7 is a Metroidvania, right? It's a game where you have to go back to where you were a lot, like back and forth all the time. And now we're okay. Apparently, I didn't high five this enough.
I didn't see you touch it. Yeah.
Good job, trailer high five. There we go. Yeah, I don't think I touched it either. The part about this is now we're doing like the cleanup section. Now this is where the auto bounce has kind of set us up to take a very different route. This is where it saves about half of its time back that we spent doing it. Is that we get to go here now and skip going into the basement twice. We only have to go into it once, and we only have to go into one of the rooms upstairs since we already got the red key card and we already did the clock puzzle, so we don't have to do the second snake key door.
Yeah, which is really nice because in Madhouse, the game throws a bunch more enemies at you in these sections. So besides spending a lot more time in these sections, they're just a lot more dangerous. So we're not only saving time, we're kind of saving our lives potentially.
You guys also want to hear something cursed about Metroidvanias?
Always.
Sure. Always.
You know that Castlevania 1 and 2 aren't Metroidvanias?
Really?
I think that's going to make some people very upset.
Yeah, no, they're just like straight platformers. It's not until later in the franchise they did the whole like Metroidvania thing.
It sounds like someone might clarify or specify that as like blasphemy to a degree. Like it sounds like
it's weird because like you think like, oh yeah, it's in the name Castlevania. It was like, no, actually, it's not until later it happened.
So yeah, uncensored version. We reached down the cop's neck. Oh, sorry, gore warning there. I should have warned you guys a little bit about that.
It was a turkey. Don't worry about it. It's seasonal.
Yeah.
He's stuffed, guys.
Gross.
Yeah. That means you killed Jack for nothing earlier.
We did kill Jack for nothing. But he's gone for good.
Grab the snake key. That's what we were doing. Again, doing the cleanup. We just have to grab a few key items before we head out of the main house for good. That extra little fast 4-legged guy, he can get you.
Yeah. Ethan tripped or something there. I don't know what he just did, but he stopped moving. His shoe was untied or something. I really don't know. Pop this guy once with a light round just to stagger him, and then this guy we have to not miss. Because if he does not die, he blocks the stairs, and then the big arm guy behind us gets really upset that we shot him, and then he starts to beat us up too.
Hold
on.
Inventory's a bit crazy. There you go.
I don't know how that happened.
There you go. Yeah.
I think it's the extra enhanced ammo I have.
Yeah. The shotgun. So the spread for the shotgun, it's actually really good when you're aiming down sights. It's like nice and tight, and you actually do proper damage. When you're not aiming down sights, when you just hip fire with this shotgun, it's kind of up in the air whether you're actually gonna hit your target.
The reticle's a suggestion.
Yeah. So anytime you see him use the shotgun, for the most part, other than that one guy where you kind of have to do the running shot, you're going to see him aiming down sights, and it makes a huge difference in terms of damage done. A lot of people like learning this, trying to do Marge 2, for example. They'll be like, for some reason, I can't phase her at all. It's not going right. And it's because they're not aiming down sights. Yeah,
a big misconception people learn eventually while running the game is they think that the shotgun is shooting slugs, but it is not. It is shooting pellets, and it shoots 12 pellets to be exact. As you can see, it's not very consistent in terms of its hitting when you have to do it while running. Now, one of those crawlers is alive, but I went up on accident. If you don't look at him, he can't hurt you. He hurt me, by the way, in case you're wondering. That was a little bit of
said it a little late.
Yeah, my finger accidentally hit both my W and my S key, so it just went up when I interacted there. But not the big of a deal, just a small hit. And now we're in the barn area. And this whole section is a callback, not really a callback, more of a reference to psychological horror. So I talk about this every time I run the game, is that each different aspect of the game's chapters, if you will, like Jack, Marge, Lucas, all reference a certain area of horror and culture and pop media and all that stuff. And the one with Jack obviously being slasher horror, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Ash vs. Evil Dead. He even has a reference directly to it with the chainsaw saying groovy. Marguerite is a reference to body horror, very dismemberment horror, as you saw, she grew, very big, monstrous, looking disgusting. Also, arachnophobia is a big part of it. And then now we have Lucas. And Lucas is a big old reference to the Saw franchise, to psychological horror, trap-based horror, where his whole gimmick, his whole shtick, is he puts just bombs everywhere. He puts traps everywhere. He starts to put bombs instead of loot crates and stuff. He just has traps all over the place. That's kind of his gimmick. The fun thing to point out about this whole game, of all the family members, Lucas is actually the only one who's actually evil. He's the only one who is genuinely a bad guy. The other two are just being controlled by Evelyn, whereas Lucas is kind of beyond that at this point. It's revealed, and we'll cover a little bit more of it in Not a Hero, that he's been cured from from Evelyn for a little while now. So he's just doing this on his own.
Yeah, just kind of not a good guy. It's also revealed in the sort of the plot of the game that even long before the events of Resident Evil 7, he was just kind of a bad egg.
Yeah, a little strange fella. He's got an LCS hoodie on. It's because he's a League of Legends player. That's the reason.
What team do you think he roots for?
Team do you think he roots for? I think he roots for 2013 TSM.
Oh, no.
All right, so he basically ripped off his fingernails to let us know that he's kind of insane, and we're like, all right, sounds good, buddy. And now we're going to go through what we've elegantly called the Boom Room in Resident Evil 7 speedrunning. And the name is aptly fit because we'll walk into this room and you'll see why. There are bombs everywhere, just hidden all over the place. And there's extra ones on Madhouse, too.
Yeah. Just a few extra ones to throw you off. They really knew how to troll the player on the Madhouse playthrough.
They really did. It's actually so messed up.
Good shotgun ammo, right?
Yeah, shotgun ammo's looking decent. Health, on the other hand, not so much, but we're going to get a couple of heals here in a second before I think we have to worry about any enemies. I want to say, hopefully, we have no issues. Usually we don't get hit by any of the enemies here, but now that I've said it...
No, it's 0514.
none of the codes here work. We actually know the code, but we can't enter it early or else it changes the code on us.
Yeah. Another nice troll. Should mention, up until we reached the TV at the beginning of this section, there were no checkpoints at all. If Zeke did not make a safety save and he had died, he would have gotten sent all the way back to the dinner cutscene right after Guest House. So the game really is kind of harsh on these checkpoints. Similarly here, there is no checkpoint here. We would go back to the TV. So yeah, just being a little extra careful.
Which is why I stopped to make that heal when I did. That is absolutely bonkers. Let's not do this, man. Remember I said I never get hit by enemies here, and then I got hit by an enemy here? I gotta stop talking sometimes, I think.
Yeah. Wait until after and then say the thing, you know?
Yeah.
Coming through here for the barn fight. A little different than it is in easy. We have 2 moldeds that come through the elevator here. And also just a little bit of extra care and setup here to make sure that we don't get owned.
Yeah, there's a lot of extra heals we can pick up here, but this fight coming up is actually not too bad. It's pretty straightforward. The only time it goes off rails is if I miss. And come on, I don't.
Yeah, he never misses.
I never miss.
He doesn't need aim labs for sure.
Definitely do. This fight's pretty simple. It's going to be like a neuro round and double shotgun, and then we're going to be pistoling a lot.
Yep, the enhanced pistol ammo really carries in this run. So 2 shotgun headshots and then enhanced pistol and done.
On easy, there's usually only 1 fat molded, and on Madhouse, there are 2, as you can see. And they're actually very different. There's 2 different types of fat molded, 3 if you include the DLC, but in the main game, there's a smaller fat molded and then a larger one. And they're very strange with how they operate because the larger one actually generally has less health, but more health to its parts, like his arms and his legs, etc. So they're a little bit different, but ultimately they're handled the same way.
Yeah, there's a lot of complicated stuff in this game with how part HP works. You know, like if you really wanted to be cheeky and experiment with it, you can shoot Jack, like roaming Jack, I don't know, like 30 times without killing him if you just evenly distribute the damage across all of his body parts. And that is actually useful for the purpose of the setup that we do in some of the other difficulties.
Yeah, it's interesting because roaming Jack has 10,000 health, just for fun fact. He has 10,000 health, but he can't actually go down or die until one of his parts dies. So, funnily enough, like if you get him to break through the wall, all of his health will reset back to full. And I don't know why I'm mentioning this, but another fun fact, when we were trying to figure out Jack's roaming health, we kept seeing 10,000 and we thought that was him, but it's not him. There's 2 units with 10,000 health. One of them is Jack and one of them is Ethan's car.
Oh yeah,
Ethan's car has 10,000 health, and if you swing your knife at it, it takes damage.
What happens when it dies?
Nothing. I don't know why it even has that health bar. But when you crash the car and kill Jack the scripted way, the car reaches 0 health.
Yeah, the car actually dies. Yeah.
It'd have been really funny if you like knifed the car to death if it just exploded.
If it explodes, yeah, that'd be awesome. And then the code here is Lappy, I think, or Loppy. No, it's Lospy.
Yeah.
Loosey.
That sounds right.
No, it's loser.
Every time you're so close. Like, you know, you'd think after like 5 or 6 years that you run this, you'll get it soon.
Yeah. After like the 17th time commentating this, I probably should have it down. Yeah.
It's one of those like dad jokes that just never gets old. Like you just got to keep doing it till the end of time.
Yeah.
Usually there'd be like a whole escape room puzzle. I actually love this section casually because I love escape rooms. But we know all the answers to everything, which is very interesting that we're actually, it's unique to know that we can't put that code in early, like I mentioned earlier. That's usually not the case in Resident Evil games. A lot of the time you can put codes in early. This one specifically just wouldn't let you do that one, but we could do all this stuff early too, like using the, like that locker where we spelled loser. We're not supposed to have that figured out, so we do a bunch of other stuff. but it just lets us, which is interesting.
Yeah. Having not seen the birthday tape, we know all this information as the character, and yet the code is the one thing that doesn't change. It would be really cool if we could just bypass the entire barn fight.
Oh yeah, that would be so nice. That'd be so great. We got this bomb here as a gift for finishing the puzzle, and we put it in this convenient hole. We're gonna wait for it to blow up, and then we're gonna just run on through and get a... We just missed Lucas. You can tell by his chair spinning. He got up out of here real quick. And now we got the
Ethan's
D-series
ears are destroyed, by the way.
Oh yeah, that bomb would have deafened him for sure.
He was standing right next to that. So our inventory is kind of crazy. The important thing is we have the 2 pieces of Eevee. We have the D-series head and the D-series arm. And we have the crank, which we need the crank to traverse this next section. It's really embarrassing when you leave the crank in the item box, and you get to the crank spot, and you're like, ooh, I gotta walk back.
Yeah, there is a funny thing about this game is that I think the crank is the longest used key item. I think we use it all the way from like when we grab it, so near the end of the game. Like it goes for so long.
Yeah. Compared to the bolt cutters, which we only use once in this game. Or twice.
Yes, twice, yeah. I'm gonna...
So we get some funny enemies here. In easy, these enemies would not even be a concern. In Madhouse, they are like really, really fast. You can see they don't even really need to be close to get those hits in. Oh, funny jump.
Yeah, I love that little cheap shot I took earlier. So it's a good feeling.
Cool. And very fortunately, the game gives you a ton of loot here. So unless something went critically wrong, Zeke should have all the ammo that he needs for the Jack 3 fight, which is what we're coming into.
Yeah, thankfully the game definitely stocks you up. Gives us quite literally every single thing we need. And we use basically every bit of it. In terms of grenade launcher ammo, which is like the most important part of Jack 3, because he's a very phase-oriented fight where we're moving around a lot, shooting a lot of different things. Kind of like Marge 2 in a way, but a lot less stress in terms of killing him super, super fast so he doesn't like run away. But that is still kind of a thing.
Slightly less choreographed, I would say, than the dance of March 2, because there's a few things that you just kind of have to account for Jack 3 doing slightly differently depending on how much damage you do to him at a given point. He moves so fast in this fight that like he can quickly go into the next attack cycle without you having much say in it.
Yeah, this fight's gonna be a lot of grenade launcher and shotgun and pistol swapping constantly and trying to kill eyes as fast as possible and hoping we don't get hit and hoping Jack doesn't crawl up when he's not supposed to.
Yep. So opening up, we're gonna do flame round. Again, those damage ticks are really important. Shoot the face eye till it pops. And then he's gonna wait for Jack to come back up. He's gonna go for the left arm. And then once that eye pops, he is going to reload flame rounds, hit him with another one, and that's just to do more tick damage as we come around here, grab some loot. Zeke's gonna drop down another flame round. Now Jack's gonna crawl up and
what are you doing, bud? Okay.
What the going for the Undertale eye now, which that eye is kind of a pain to hit when Jack is on the ground level, so it's important that he does that weird little flop. Again, just keeping the tick damage. This is really important because we're essentially like lowering these eyes to not 1 HP, but as close as we can get to 1 HP, just so that they pop easier. And then is that all of his eyes?
That's all of them.
Yeah. Oh my god, that goes so fast, dude.
Speed run.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my. That's what it
means. It's in the name.
A neuro round here just to slow him down. We haven't mentioned it yet, but the neuro rounds actually slow enemies down, which is useful there because otherwise Jack will get you. And that's Jack 3.
It slows everything down, including their death animation and everything.
Yeah,
they just
really
turn down
dramatic.
like minus like 50% for some reason.
Yeah.
Hi, Zoe.
Ethan, this way.
Oh, bye, Zoe.
Bye, Zoe.
Now we have to... He's still not dead.
Serum on him.
Now this time for sure.
This time for real.
Yeah, this time 100% for sure.
He will not come back in a future DLC.
Yeah,
Absolutely
we
not.
will certainly not see him again tonight, I promise you guys. And you can trust me.
Look, he like crumbled, dude. He's got to be dead. Marge crumbled.
Yeah.
She died.
That's a good point, actually. Why did Marge crumble?
Yeah.
And if you choose the non-canon ending where you save Zoe, she crumbles too and she's dead. Why is Jack so special?
I wish I hadn't said that because that's a plot hole.
That is a plot hole. We got the RNG scream at the weirdest time. So we basically had 2 serums we were going to use to cure both Mia and Zoe, but since we had to use one, we only get to cure one person, and it's going to be Mia because it's faster. If you watched my run during GDQ 2025, we actually saved Zoe for the non-canon ending as a bid war. If you haven't seen that run, you should. It was a really fun run. And we actually saved Zoe, and when you do that, you actually trigger the non-canon ending. It loses a minute, but you actually fight a third boss, which is Mia 3, where you fight her Gordon Freeman style with a crowbar, basically. If it was up to me, I'd save Zoe. Like, I'm a Zoe fan, personally.
For a second, I thought you said Morgan Freeman, and I was going to correct you, but now you got it.
Also, lore-wise, it's stated that apparently Jack specifically has the highest regeneration of the whole family.
Oh. Still, he crumbled, man.
So he's built different.
Yeah, he can like come back from like an atom, pretty much.
He's like Cell from Dragon Ball Z.
Kind of.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, I learned this because I researched a lot about the different characters of this game. Like Ethan's a computer scientist, which is yeah, he is a programmer or something like that.
I see. People kept saying he worked in finance, but I always said IT, but I wasn't sure, so it is IT.
Nope. He also came from like California to Texas, and then he drove 12 hours throughout the night to get to Louisiana.
IT explains the Apple Watch.
It does explain
Exactly.
It explains the Apple Watch and the white button up.
Yeah.
We need to talk.
Yeah.
You had something to do with all this, didn't you?
So forced cutscenes.
Unskippable
By the way,
cutscenes.
cutscenes are not skippable in case you haven't noticed. Otherwise, we would not be sitting on this boat. But this is a great part of the run to go to the bathroom if you're grinding out attempts.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. You get a couple of those, the Lucas TV and the cutscene towards the end of the game. You get a good amount of space to get up and take a break. We do have a mod for the updated version of the game called Cutscene Skip Mod, which does remove the 23 minutes of cutscenes from the game, speeds them up, skips right through them, which is super nice if you're looking to learn the run, but you don't want to sit through half an hour of cutscenes every run. We have a mod that circumvents that, as well as a category to go alongside it, and we have a no guest house category, which also can have that mod. So you can have a no intro run that skips all the cutscenes, which takes what's normally an hour and a half run down to a 50-minute run.
Yeah, which is really cool. It's nice for practice purposes. So even if you're planning on running the full game with the cutscenes, like it can be a little bit bad for reset efficiency, I guess would be the best way to put it, where you're like, I don't want to sit through an hour of gameplay just to lose a run at Jack 3 or something like that, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Ethan?
But now we're not playing as Ethan anymore. We're actually playing as Mia. And there's Ethan. He's kind of just taking a nap. That he gets kind of mysteriously just pulled through the ground.
Yeah.
I don't know how this works. Like, he'd get bumps and bruises along the way for sure. There's no way.
He's one with the mega mice seat, man.
He really is. And now we're also on a big tanker. It's like a big ship, which will get revealed essentially here as we play to Mia, that this is how Evelyn came to be. Remember earlier I was saying Mia's a bad guy? She is a bad guy. She's a very bad guy. She is one of the reasons Evelyn is here. She works for the Connections, and she was transporting Evelyn to be sold. Her and some guy that really doesn't matter. His name is Alan. We'll learn a little bit about Alan and his 2 last names in a moment. But we were transferring her. Things went south. Alan did something wrong that caused everything to go wrong, and they don't really explain what it was, but he did something, apparently.
Yeah.
And now Evelyn is here.
That guy's awful. Alan's terrible.
Alan is so bad. He talks too much. He's got 2 last names.
Yeah, so this is kind of it's a really important lore dump for the game. Like you do get a lot of explanation in this, where in the first majority of the first like 80% of the game, pretty much, you don't really get a whole lot of information on why any of this is happening. By the way, same character model. They couldn't even do it differently.
Copy,
It's kinda
paste.
weird.
Control C,
Yeah.
Control V.
Yeah. But yeah, ultimately, this is kind of a pace killer in terms of everything is like very intense and action oriented, and we're doing a lot of stuff, and we're shooting a lot of things, we're getting a lot of key items, we're going out of bounds. Like things are crazy in the main house, and then you get here, and it's a bit slower. It's a bit more slower paced. There is still a ton to optimize in the ship. It's sort of similar to Guest House, where as much as people complain about it, as much as I've complained about it myself, it is still one of the like harder to optimize sections, because there is sort of less action and less fighting and stuff like that. You just have to be really good with your interactions, with your inventory, with your movement, and there's a lot of small places where you can lose a ton of time. It is a bit different in Madhouse because the threat of death is very imminent, but in general, it's kind of the same in all categories in terms of just don't get hit,
Yeah. The thing about like this part of the game is there's like no combat, and then suddenly there's like a lot of enemies in a very small area, and then there's no combat again for a while. On Madhouse, that becomes more of an issue, because though we do not really get to kill many enemies on Madhouse in this specific area, because the gun we are given, and I use the gun term loosely, very loosely, when I describe this weapon. We get a weapon, and it is awful, and we don't really use it other than for staggering and stunning some enemies. Ultimately, our weapon of choice that we get to use a few of is remote bombs, which end up carrying us a little bit in this regard.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate, but honestly, both weapons that we're given access to, one of which we don't even get here in this run, they're kind of weak. They barely qualify as weapons. They mostly just serve to stagger enemies and not really do damage to them, which is good for the tension of this area, and it's kind of the game's way of sort of encouraging you not to kill everything and to kind of like push on. But in terms of giving us a lot to work with in the speedrun, it's pretty rough.
Yeah, it is. It's certainly not kind. I love the ship and its level design, because it's a very nice area casually. It's very confusing, but it's very spooky, and it has a lot of callbacks to Resident Evil Revelations, which was directed by the same person that directed Resident Evil 7. So there's a lot of like nods back to Revelations with how it's laid out and the way it looks, and it's very spooky. It definitely fits the atmosphere very, very well. It's just when you get to the speedrun side of it, it's definitely slower and not as enjoyable as the rest of the game. But also, this is Alan. Do not get emotionally attached to him.
Yeah. So this is Alan Droney or Alan Douglas. The game literally messed up, and in the documents I think he's called Alan Droney, but then in the credits he's credited as Alan Douglas. So what his real name is, we don't know. Maybe like Umbrella scrubbed it so that we wouldn't know. Maybe he's very pivotal to the entire franchise, but I kind of doubt it, because he's kind of just lame.
The fourth wall break on Capcom and Umbrella.
Yeah, the meta answer is that Alan Douglas comes back later.
It's listed in the confidential files what he is.
The confidential files.
What he's really named. That's a joke you'll get probably in like half an hour, I promise you.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do Alan 1 skip, which is essentially we're gonna line up here, do a quick turnaround interaction to essentially get in and out of that room as fast as possible after interacting with the mold, because Alan will call us. For some reason, if you exit the room before the call starts, it actually cancels the call. It saves us like 20 seconds of hearing Alan yap. Bad news, I have not been cheap shot yet. And the reason why that's bad news is because the longer I go without cheap shotting, the more likely it is for the next molded to cheap shot you. And if it's this one in the elevator, the chances of death are very high. I'm hoping that's not the case, but If this guy cheap shots me, we're actually in for a very bad time.
I'm gonna try and force him off the elevator. Nice. Yeah, so you cannot use the elevator while there's an enemy on it. So the goal there is not necessarily to kill him, it's just to get him past the doorway so that we can press the button and then leave.
Now, if I had to take a guess, we want this guy to cheap shot me. We need him to. Okay.
No. Does that reset it?
He hit me with a fadeaway one. Yeah, I think that was a cheap shot. I mean, it has to be, because if it's not, I'm dead right now.
Yeah.
If he hadn't cheap shot me, that means that big armor was about to, and at this health, it will automatically kill me.
We haven't really explained cheap shotting. So essentially, an enemy can kind of hit you, like kind of frame perfect in a way that you can't really block it. You can't. There's no human way you could react to it. And if you stop to block, it slows you down. So because of how fast enemies move, you're going to end up body blocked if you just stand there kind of blocking, anticipating a hit that may or may not come. So our only choice is to run past a lot of these enemies. And in that split frame attack, they can actually hit you multiple times, similar to how we did in Mia, the Mia 2 and 1 fight. They can hit you in multiple times in a single frame, doing an absurd amount of damage in Madhouse. Basically, they can put you to critical in one, and if you have any amount of damage done to you already, which Zeke unfortunately does, they can kill you straight off the rip. So
yeah, it's pretty brutal, and I think the worst offenders of it are crawlers. If a crawler does it, it can actually one-shot you from full health, which is because you'll, instead of getting hit twice, you get hit 4 times, or even 6 times, and you just die immediately. It's pretty nasty. We could do a skip here on like easy categories to where we can blast ourselves through the wall with a bomb, but 1, that would almost kill us on Madhouse, and 2, we need that bomb. So I'm gonna heal myself here, even though I overhealed a bit, but I didn't want to risk being low here, because now this is where I kind of talked about there's a lot of enemies in a very small area. This is where that happens. These 2 are not too bad. They can cheap shot me, and if they did, that's like not the end of the world. We're gonna close these doors behind us. And now this area up ahead is where it gets really, really scary. There's gonna be 3 molded that's kind of stagger their spawns. We have to get to the elevator behind them, and we don't have time to sit here and kill them. So the idea is I'm gonna hopefully blow the leg off of this first one, which I did. And now I'm gonna go to 30 and squeeze past him, and the other 2 are spawning behind him. I might eat a cheap shot here. I didn't. That's actually super lucky. Now I just have to deal with them as they're running towards me here. So we're gonna put the bomb down, and I'm gonna turn on the elevator, and we have to wait for it. I need to blow off their legs, which is good. And Mia has to check her watch right now.
Mia, yeah, forced to check her watch, even though she's very clearly occupied.
Yeah. How many steps did I get in today? Let's take a look.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, and yeah, so that area actually went pretty well. The chances of dying there, that is where Madhouse runs typically go to die at this point, is you would get here, and then you would get like double cheap shot or whatever it might be, and suddenly you just explode, and you're dead. And then you go back to the start of the area down there.
Yeah, it is. They sort of knew how rough that section was, and they do give you a checkpoint at the start when you're first getting off the elevator, which is nice, but it is still a very long section to run through multiple times if you do die.
Yeah.
Nice dodge.
No cheap shots on this guy either. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, this is a surprisingly chill ship.
It's a little too chill.
Yeah, a little spooky.
It's a little ominous. But we're wrapping up the tape now. The whole point of this tape was essentially to teach us about where the ship's layout, what the ship's layout looks like, and where to go and stuff. Because now, when we go back to playing as normal Mia, we're actually going to have to go through and grab some things to get the elevator working again, so we can go save our beloved Ethan Winters. But first, we have to watch Alan die.
I think this section confused a lot of people because they were like, "Is this the past? Is this the present?" And then you finish the tape, and then you're like, "Wait, I'm back here now. I have to go through, but like areas are closed off." And yeah.
Alan here kind of admits to being the bad guy, I guess, and then he starts calling Evie mean words, and then Evie gets upset. Respectfully so. I would as well.
Yeah. Well, there is a running theme of people saying mean words to Evie and then immediately dying, like right after. It's like it's pretty consistent.
Yeah, really. Yeah, like she has like a crazy KDA on that. She really does.
Yeah. R.I.P. Alan. Elbozo.
You know, the funniest part about the whole Evelyn plotline is that if they just lied to her, they probably could have like not had any problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really easy to lie to children.
Like, I don't think that should be the takeaway of today's.
I think that's a great point. That is a great
Thanksgiving,
point.
everybody. It's really easy to lie to children.
That is
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Santa is real.
Well, I mean, he is. He's coming around.
He's coming around. He'll be here in a month.
Yep.
And Alan was on the naughty list. What are you gonna do?
So first half of ship is now done, thankfully. Nice 360.
Thank you.
Swag.
There's a no scope.
Are you ready for this, guys? The only skippable cutscene in the whole game.
And it's the coolest one.
It is actually kind of the coolest cutscene. Yeah, that's like the only cutscene that's rendered out of engine, other than maybe the credits.
I wonder why.
Yeah. I think the logic was that because of VR, because the game was designed for VR. That cutscene specifically on VR is actually changed in VR, where you're in like a theater-esque viewing of it. Because otherwise, the motion sickness you could get from that cutscene would be monstrous. Because you get tossed around like crazy.
Yeah, you get like thrown out of the ship, and then you're like kind of bobbing around in the water and stuff like that. And they did design this game with VR in mind, sort of from the beginning. That's why there's so many in-your-face kind of jump scares. You know, early on we have Mia stabbing us in the face, and then you just saw Evie gets all up in our face and laughs at us. So very much with VR in mind. I think they were like, yeah, we can't make every player motion sick, just some of them. You know?
Yeah, it's actually funny because when RE7 first started development, the game wasn't immediately intended to be designed for VR. And then it was about a couple months in or 6 months in where the director was like, hey guys, VR is kind of taken off. And so they swapped it, and they swapped it over to VR centric, which worked out on both ends. The VR version of this game you can play on the PSVR is phenomenal, by the way. It is absolutely phenomenal. I enjoyed it. Having played thousands of hours of this game, when I played it in VR, it was like a whole new experience, basically. It was a very different, very enjoyable thing. You could very much tell how much it was designed for VR, because it has different UI elements and everything specifically made for VR that I would highly recommend if you have the ability to play it in.
Yeah. In terms of games, horror games for VR, this one probably tops the list.
Yeah, I would say it's probably the best. Because it not only is it like it's Resident Evil, so you got Capcom's like excellence level of polish on it. It's still just, it plays really well and like it feels really good.
Yeah. You saw Zeke run back into that room. That is just to despawn the fat molded outside. Otherwise, he kind of pukes all over us. It's a pain. Putting down a bomb here to kill that guy. You may notice you don't have to be very far away from the remote bombs. You just have to take like a tiny step back, and then you can detonate them without taking damage. So,
they have a deceptively small radius, but the bombs that are on walls with tripwires are deceptively massive.
Yeah.
Which is really messed up, if you think about it. Now
the range that those tripwires can kill you is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is, and it's especially apparent. Hopefully, you won't see it, but in Joe Must Die, it's a spooky thing as well. We're going back to areas where we've been through before on the tape. Now we're corroding this door. I got that cursor from the room with the fat molded. Now we're gonna come up here and grab the power cable to the elevator, which is the last thing we need to make it operational. And on Madhouse, there's 2 enemies here that are going to be blocking our way instead of just the normal one fat molded. Now we get a fat molded and we get a regular molded who's going to come hang out behind us. But we're going to use the same strat we used earlier, where if you can't see them, they can't hurt you. Which did not work earlier, by the way, in case you were wondering. So this guy's right behind me. I hope he doesn't cheap shot us. He cheap shot us.
Oh.
We actually got double hit. We took out most of our
Yeah.
health. I should stop saying that. I think that's the takeaway.
You gotta wait till
I'm
after
saying
we're clear,
too many things
and then you
today.
say, "Here's what could have happened." Yeah, those cheap shots are actually just insanely nasty, and you can get caught up in the vomit from that fat molded who we kind of manipulate into aiming at the wall.
All right, now we're gonna go to the bottom floor. We'll go back through that area we went through before where we had all those molded in the very small area. We're going to kind of have a repeat of that, except it's a lot less of the molded, but there's still going to be a decent amount of them. Not as risky this time around, not nearly as risky, but still a little spooky. We can get cheap shot.
Yep. And this time we don't even have the option of staggering anything. Just doing it with the one remote bomb that we have.
We have to use it on that guy or else he will absolutely destroy us.
Yeah. The way that the four-legged molded attack, they almost always attack with both hands, and that counts as 2 instances of damage. And they already hit like crazy hard in Madhouse, even if they only hit you once. I think it's like 600 HP or something like that. And Ethan has what, like 1200, right?
Yeah, Ethan has 1,000 default health.
Oh, it's one that. Is it Chris has 1200?
I think. Well, so Ethan has 1,000. Chris has 5,000.
God.
And I think
What a
Mia
tank.
also has like 1,000, or maybe she has a little bit more. But Ethan, I think, has 1,000 flat.
I'm not gonna hurt you.
And now this is where we learn stuff and things about Jack and his family. The biggest one being is that they're actually not evil at all. Jack, Marguerite, Zoe, they're not bad people. They were just kind of controlled by Evelyn. This is kind of where that plot point gets revealed. And this is also where you kind of learn, you learn this after playing through the DLCs and stuff a little bit, but you kind of catch on. No one in this room right now is actually dead. The people who are here are connected through the Megamycete, which is later referenced in Resident Evil Village, how people can kind of connect there through that Megamycete, and they have like shared pathways, shared thoughts, histories. They can think about things other people have thought about, or rather their histories and stuff. So this kind of indicates that they're all still alive. Zoe is still alive. You wouldn't really know that at this point. Jack is actually still alive. You also would have assumed he was dead because you killed him. And Ethan is still alive. The only people who are not here are Mia, who is no longer being controlled by Evelyn, which is why she's not in the Megamycete anymore. Lucas, who for the same reason is also no longer being controlled by Evelyn, and Marguerite, and she is actually dead, and it's like represented by the lantern being here on the table. One of my favorite things to talk about, because it's a really nice nod back to a lot of what happened earlier in the game and what's to come in the DLCs.
So Mia sent me that message.
See, I like to bring up the fact that when Jack was ranking his family not being evil, Zoe's like apparently last place.
Yeah, he said even Zoe. I remember that, yeah.
My family ain't evil. Marguerite, me, Lucas, even Zoe's okay.
Even Zoe's are. I always think about that too. Why does he? What does she do?
I know it's quite shocking to hear.
Then she just gets
But
up and
even
looks out the
Zoe's
window.
alright.
She just like over here like Bullet
Well, I
for My
think
Valentine
maybe-
playing in her iPod shuffle, looking out the window.
Yeah, Lucas has a dead body in his attic before he was molded.
That's probably
yet.
why she gets up and looks at the window. She's like, even Zoe, dude. Like, what the?
Like, come on, man.
I'm out of here.
Maybe Zoe was using Old Bay seasoning. And it all comes back.
I can't believe she went by Old Base when Tony's was an option.
We're at Tony's
Yeah.
family, Zoe.
He's been disowned. Ethan was invited because he actually had Tony's. Maybe that's the reason. Like, he got invited because he brought the Tony's.
They didn't even have any seasoning at that table. They only had pepper.
Speaking of things that don't have seasoning, this texture.
Yeah, this is a horrible texture.
Yeah.
Do you think the mold is like solid or like is it like gooey?
Yeah, it seems pretty like easy to just rip apart. You
You know what? I've thought about this extensively. You'll have you know. And you ever see those commercials for moon sand? I think it feels like moon sand.
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more wet, but I think it feels like moon sand.
I won't be able to.
Now, would you
Yeah,
want to be in a
kind of.
cocoon of that?
I don't want to be in a cocoon of anything.
You know,
I feel like some cocoons would be kind of cool.
Moon sand. Yeah, no, a cocoon of moon sand.
This could be
would
easily
think
done
sand,
in
but,
real
like-
life. Like, this is very replicable.
Yeah.
I'll
You gotta make a
Next
hit YouTube
GDQ.
video.
Yeah, next time we see each
putting
other at
myself
GDQ.
in the mole.
That's what's happening at the horror parties. Actually, is we're just making moon sand cocoons, and everyone's having a good
Yeah.
time.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just tape someone to the wall.
I'll
We're
volunteer.
playing RE7. You'll be Ethan.
Yeah, if anyone's got to do it, it's got to be me. Like, I got to see what it's like. Got to put myself in the mind of the character, you know?
What, moon sand chopping off your hand, and what else happens, Ethan?
Actually, you know what? I'm
We'll
good.
put you back on, stapling
We'll
it.
feed you some bugs or something.
Yeah. Yeah, do the leg cut. Yeah, there's too many things. Actually, you know, I think I'm good. Actually, I think I'm fine. Not looking to method act on that one. But now we're back as Ethan. All the fishies here are sleeping. They are not dead. Don't worry. They're fine. But now we're kind of in the last like 10% of the game. But there's still things we have left to do. We still don't have our wife. We kind of came here just for that. Also, we learned about Evelyn, this monstrous child woman who's controlling and killing everyone, and we have to take care of that. We need to grab a few things: a neuro round, that flame crafting material, and all of our stuff back that we lost earlier. We're gonna make a safety save because now we're coming up on the salt mines, where is another place where we can die. You'll notice that's a reoccurring theme.
Yeah. Really tough section right here with the amount of molded they put right outside this elevator. As mentioned before, you cannot use an elevator if there's an enemy on it. So
That was messed up.
avoiding these molded from getting on this elevator is kind of critical. Nice. Fortunately, they get invisible walled, and then they end up actually on top of the elevator. You can hear them stomping around, and then they just despawn.
They sound like
Kind of weird.
If you ever when you played Minecraft for the first time and you built a house, like something underground to hide from zombies, and the zombies would walk above you.
yeah.
It's exactly what it
Yeah.
sounds like. There's gonna be a bomb right here. Just gonna get rid of it. There's a couple mold that are gonna be in our way on the way to making the necrotoxin, which is the current objective. Make this toxin that'll kill Evelyn, essentially. There's only a couple molded in our way. We can get cheap shot, but since we just got cheap shot, I'm not too concerned about it happening again already. Which is kind of throws off the cycle. Like I said, you get cheap shot once, and anytime you don't get cheap shot, the odds of it happening go up. Which now means that I think the odds of us getting cheap shot on the actual ascent in the salt mines is now a lot higher. But if I don't think about it, it can't hurt me. If you don't look at them, they can't hurt you. That is how it works. So we're going to go back through the salt mines here in a moment after we push this through, and hopefully it doesn't glitch out and go through the wall.
Oh, that's funny when that happens.
Oh, this is great.
Nice.
That's very scary because he can hit you and then he'll just do a cheap shot immediately after and you just die.
Yeah. Shooting a bomb here. Yeah. Lucas somehow even here. I wonder if this will be reincorporated later.
Yeah.
Yeah, pay attention to this area. It might show back
You
up.
might see it again. Grab a couple items while we wait for that to cook.
Yeah. So right now we're making another necrotoxin, and this one, instead of curing our wife or ourselves or even Zoe, we're gonna use it on Evelyn and put an end to this.
Finish this fight, as they say.
Yeah. And we are locked and loaded at this point. We have a neuro round ready to go. We have a couple flame rounds, 14 shotgun shells, more than adequate to get through this last bit.
Yeah, we have a lot to get through. The challenge of Madhouse versus Easy. Easy has a checkpoint here that they can retry, which makes Ethan really fast. And you can actually bolt past most of the enemies here on the salt mine ascent. We don't have that here at Madhouse. We're actually just running at molasses speed. We're super, super slow, which means we have to shoot and take care of most of the enemies. Specifically, this first one here, I'm actually going to intentionally not kill because there is a memory limit to the amount of enemies that can spawn in here. So if I leave him alive, that means one later is not going to spawn. And we do that on purpose so that we don't get overrun. I'm going to shoot this guy, and then we have a big armed one that's going to spawn in here. And then after him, there's going to be a crawler that spawns. Typically, a molded would also fall from the ceiling. but we've avoided that because I left one alive. And now we have 2 here. Now I'm going to kill one and hopefully, if I do this right, stagger the fat molded so I can run past him like that. Now this
Nice.
gives me enough time to 30 FPS and squeeze past as he stands up and avoid the crawler that spawns behind me. So that actually went pretty well.
Yeah, that's a really tough section to get correctly. That molded at the end can be a major troll. There are also bombs on the ladder, just as a final little meme from Capcom.
Yeah, a funny little bit that they love to do here. The funny thing about that, though, is those bombs are like the only bombs or one of the few things in the game that can't kill you, because you actually can't die on ladders, which is a very interesting little thing about the game, is that you cannot die while on a ladder.
I wonder if it's almost similar to how like you can't kill Marge 2 or Jack in certain animations. It's like Ethan has his own iframe animations, and I guess ladder is one of them.
Yeah, I think also when using key items, well, you can get hit and take damage, kind of like bosses can still take damage. You just also can't die while using a key item.
True. Yeah.
But now we're back in Guest House. It always ends and starts with Guest House.
We got to do the whole thing again.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
All over again. We have to fight Mia 1 and go through hallway, all that stuff again.
By the way, you do see Ethan's face here.
Yeah.
To everybody who's like, you don't see Ethan's face, blah, blah, blah. They hide his face. You see it right there.
Yeah,
in the first game.
it's like plain as day.
Yeah.
You do have to crank your brightness up quite a bit, I will be quite honest.
Well,
but
yeah, okay, so yeah, we are playing at like, like nuclear radioactive brightness, but that's besides the point. It's,
yeah, you can
it's
see
there.
it. It's right. It's
You know,
rendered.
that
It's
actually
modeled,
raises a question. Why is the brightness so high?
so I can see.
Oh, yeah. I guess that'll do it.
That
Yeah, it's actually it is really fun as a speedrunner playing, like doing a quote unquote casual playthrough and playing at the intended settings, you know, like actually graphic settings turned way up, because obviously we have the graphic settings absolutely nuked so we can max out frame rate. We have the brightness turned up so that we can like line up and see interactables and stuff like that easier. But yeah, playing this game the sort of intended way is much more immersive experience.
way darker.
Obviously.
Everything is way darker, and that's like the reason we turned it up is kind of like Neil said is so we can see. You'll notice that with a lot of horror speedrunners, if it looks like their game is like, you know, kind of washed out, really bright, it's because we need to be able to see.
Yeah.
We don't do this on our casual playthroughs. So also Evelyn, we're gonna block 2 blasts from her, and then now we can just hold W out here and inject her.
Yep. You saw Zeke, he kind of positioned himself so that the second blast knocked him into the wall, so he didn't get knocked all the way back. If you stand in that like hallway, she'll like just blast until you're dead, pretty much.
Yeah. And it was grandma the whole time.
Oh my gosh.
Big spoiler.
You could have seen it coming.
And her hair has seen better days.
It's going crazy today.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a bad hair day. I feel it. It's a good thing for
And
RE9 they got a wig.
Even the wheelchair was molded.
Yeah, the
Oh my
wheelchair,
gosh.
the spring-loaded wheelchair wasn't real the whole time.
So,
You're right
kind
to
of,
be impressed by it.
yeah, honestly. Kind of a set piece boss here. There is, I mean, I would say there is no threat, but there is a threat. It's a giant face on the wall. But in terms of like ammo and stuff like that, there is no real threat. We're just DPSing her down, forcing her to the next phase. She's gonna throw us out of the house. We're gonna be on the ground for a bit. There's only one spot where we actually have to do damage to her. Other than that, we're kind of just chilling and waiting for her to go through the motions.
Yeah, this is like I said, it's a big set piece, kind of like just a big finisher cinematically to the game. She's this huge, monstrous boss. You can kind of see here she's super deformed, but we don't really do much to her.
Kind of classic to the Resident Evil series, you know. You get that one last section where it's like, all right, here's a rocket launcher that just kind of decimates the boss, you know.
Yeah. Which is weird how Ethan survives this. These are some heavy hits. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, right? I feel like, yeah, given the cheap shots did so much damage. Like, you would think this would be ripped, right?
Yeah. Could you imagine if everyone could cheap shot you? Oh my goodness. Let's get a cheeky third hit
She
in.
multi-hits in the finale. Oh my god.
That would be such a heartbreaker.
Don't say those things.
On Madhouse, she's a little bit tankier, so it takes a couple pistol shots as well as the shotgun to kill this arm, so she drops us.
Yeah, that's the only spot where you could realistically die in this if you just sat there and let her smack you. But now we get the Albert. Coolest gun.
Named after Mr. Wesker himself. And I'm going to pick my mouse up off my desk because we do not want to move it a single centimeter. We just mash left click and we want to shoot her 4 times. 2, 3, 4.
GG.
And that's already 7.
Gee.
Thank you, fellas.
No,
Thank you.
time's not yet, but we'll be calling in a moment.
Yep. Time is on the black screen after.
She falls apart. The
Really
textures
clean,
are going to
dude.
shift. Yeah, that was actually a really good run. We didn't die. Other than getting beat up on the stairs, everything went pretty well. I will be honest. That was a pretty solid run. Pretty solid. But wait, there's more. Don't go anywhere. And time. Oh, not bad. That's a pretty solid.
That's super good.
I think IGT was 134.30. Yeah, not bad. Just a couple minutes behind my world record. Yeah, that was Madhouse new game. That was, the full experience. If you were to grab the game right now, that's the story. That's the game. There's a whole lot to it. There's a lot you miss out on only watching the speedrun. You should play it casually as well. But yeah, we're going to be doing the DLCs in a moment. End of Zoe and Not a Hero. So yeah, stick around for those. Those are going to be also on the hardest difficulties.
Yep, we'll be hopping to those in a moment. Really quick, let's just count it as we're doing 3 runs today pretty much. So Zeke, if anyone wanted to find you, where can they find you?
You can find me on twitch.tv/Captain Ezekiel and Blue Sky and Twitter at Captain Ezekiel. More importantly, you can find me at Awesome Games Done Quick 2026. I will be opening up the horror block and I will be running Silent Hill F and debuting that game. So if you're interested in any of those things, that's where I'll be in January. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
Alrighty. Well, all 3 of us are going to be right back in 1 moment. We're not going anywhere. Hopefully you don't go anywhere. Before we do go on a quick break, just for a couple of announcements. If you're ever curious what's coming up on Hotfix or interested in running, or which is interesting in what's happening on GDQ, you can find the week's schedule and submit your runs to be showcased at gdq.gg/hotfix. As well, Frame Fatales is a community of women and femmes who share a passion for speedrunning, gaming, and charity. In addition to their 2 flagship events, they host activities year-round in their community Discord, like Game of the Month and Randomizer events. You can type !FF in chat for more info on that. Anyway, we'll be right back. All right, everyone, welcome back from the break. Hope you all enjoyed the first run of RE7 Madhouse. As we can see, the game's very hard, a lot of action in it, but you may be wondering, is there more to RE7 than what we saw? There's actually a bunch of DLCs, and we'll be seeing a couple of those as well, which are effectively mini campaigns that really wrap up the whole story and, they, let's say, bring the family together. The first of which we'll be looking at is Not a Hero. This is the one where you get to play as Chris Redfield. You saw him show up at the end, and we'll get to see what he's been up to. Anyway, we are back with Captain Ezekiel, so we hop to that run.
All right. Thank you, Ek. Welcome back, everybody. I just ran Madhouse new game. Very fun time. And now we're doing Not a Hero Professional. We're doing this on new game as well. After this, we'll be doing End of Zoe. So you get to see the whole canonical thing. Still joining me is Niddle. He's still here on comms.
Hi, everybody. Still here.
Still here. All right. Timer is going to start as soon as I skip the first cutscene. So time starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Thank you. Now, these DLCs are significantly shorter than the main game. They're both about 30 minutes each. Willing I don't get, too beat up. Not a Hero is really action-oriented. So is End of Zoe for the most part, but this is very... It's been nicknamed like, Chris of Duty, just like the Chris section in RE Village, where we're basically playing as Chris Redfield with his really stacked loadout of weapons he's going to get. But on Professional, we actually don't get as many as we do on Easy. And we're going to get them a little bit later. So we're actually run around without a gun for like about 8 minutes of this, and there's molded everywhere. And the game is basically just telling us, hey, survive.
Yeah. Metroidvania, baby. I'm telling you.
Okay, this guy is just...
Oh my gosh.
He ate a lot on Thanksgiving. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so professional difficulty has quite a few changes. Normally, in easy, we would have this like pretty cool shotgun, pretty cool pistol. All we get in professional is our knife, and Chris can do these like cool little knife flip tricks. He's kind of like a CS god with the knife. This is a very fast-paced, action-heavy DLC. We're going to be doing a lot in a very little period of time. And look at who it is. It's our boy.
Lucas, he's back. The whole focus point of this DLC is to essentially get this guy. Because Lucas got away, and now we're part of this like Neo umbrella, where Chris has now joined this organization that is, their task is to hunt people like Lucas and the connections. And this is what we're here trying to clean up the mess of.
Yeah. And great line there.
Best line.
Adios, muchachos. In every language, Lucas says adios, muchachos. So if you're playing in German, it's like a German sort of adios, muchachos. And then if you every language, it's adios, muchachos, which is really funny. So new enemy types is a thing in Not a Hero. That's our first main problem right there, and those are the white variant of the molded, and they're a little stinky. They can only be killed with ramrods or an absurd amount of regular damage, just like way more than we have the resources to do. And pretty nice through there. You can very easily take a good amount of damage from those two enemies alone.
Yeah, they're super tanky. The speed chart is to take a specific liner on that white molded and save the grenade. It's not very marathon friendly. If he hits me at all, the run dies, and I have to go back to the very beginning. So it's not worth it. So throwing the grenade makes it a little bit safer. And now we're lowering down into this big, massive area underneath the salt mines, essentially, is where we're going, which is this huge, fleshed out lab where they were creating stuff, making molded, and, you know, a bunch of other stuff that you'll see here in just a moment.
Yeah. And the way that this DLC is sectioned off, there's kind of like, we're going to save each of our homies. Wow. These grabs are also unique to this DLC, which is super fun.
We are starting off on a banger right now.
Yeah. So there's like 3 areas that we need to visit, each with a separate homie that we are trying to save. That's going to go super great. We're going to we're going to save our homie. We are going to be the hero this time.
Yeah.
This one's different.
3 homies to save, and we are going to go 3 for 3.
Yeah, for sure. So this first area, notoriously annoying. You're going to see Zeke take a very specific line here. It's not going to necessarily look like he's doing a lot, but if he's even slightly off on his movement, it ruins this whole thing. So the first issue we have to deal with is this big molded. Chris can perfect parry. That's that little arm up block that you saw there, which is great when you can get it off because it loses no time. He doesn't slow down at all. The movement in picking up that gear is very important. There was a little bit of an issue there, but hopefully should be okay. We need those molded on the left to not be a problem here because we can get interrupted while we're doing this prank interaction.
Certainly about to be a problem, I think.
Oh my gosh.
Hey guys.
You know, that could have gone worse. They didn't hit you out of it.
I did utilize an extra grenade there. I'm not sure how badly I'm gonna get punched. Hold on. She's
yeah. Hot on the tail.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was spooky. Yeah,
really?
Everything so far has not gone normal. Like none of this is normal. The big Malo molded turning around there, I almost didn't need to use the grenade I used on her because she turned around for some reason. Not normal at all. But I threw the grenade to be safe. I don't think it's a huge deal. That I had to, but I've had to use 2 grenades I would not normally have to use. But you know, it's fine. It's gonna be fine.
It'll be fine.
And this is homie number 1.
Yeah, this I will say this is a bit more of an unpredictable run, especially in a marathon setting because it is shorter. You know, like in a PB setting, you just reset. But in a marathon setting, you kind of have to make certain sacrifices and backup strats. You have to be like, well, that didn't quite go how I planned, but at least we didn't die, sort of. And there will be a little bit of that in a few of these sections. The boss fights and stuff like that, though, tend to go specifically one way or not at all in this DLC. By the way, just a little off the top, I think.
That's a little bit.
Just a little off the top. And we get this gas mask.
There's Lucas and his jigsaw trap. So there's a funny little thing to mention, kind of like with Sero D with the main game. Not a Hero also has a Sero D version, or I guess it's the Korean censored version of the game.
Censored version, yeah.
Yeah, where instead of this cutscene, you actually save a minute by coming in here and you just get to pick it up instead of having to wait for that cutscene. Now, just like the main game, this is to be fixed and you no longer have to run with that as a result. But yeah, there's a minute of time save there. You skip that entire interaction with your homie there and he just ends up dead regardless.
It was actually a really funny discovery. It was only maybe a couple years ago, 3 years ago, that because everybody was running on the Japanese version, which saved some time there, and a Korean runner, 7, actually came up to us and was like, hey, did you know that the Korean version is actually like even faster? It doesn't play the cutscene at all. You just go pick up the key and you walk out of the room.
I remember when too, because they posted like as though it was like a bug, and then they were able to replicate it every single time, and it became knowledge that, you know, the Korean version of the game has that advantage. There's one small thing here I'll mention. I had to do it between the breaks. We discovered recently, very, very recently, within the last month, that if you play the game RE7 on Madhouse and then you try to go right into a Not a Hero playthrough, it for some reason messes with the drops. So I have to restart the game between doing a Madhouse playthrough and a Not a Hero playthrough, or else I would actually get a very little amount of what I need to actually beat the game, which is a very strange and only relevant in this specific situation, where I'm doing this back-to-back run like this. Otherwise, we might not have really known until someone accidentally discovered it.
Yeah, so the first instance of that is here, where if you do a Madhouse run and then you go straight into a Not a Hero run, you only get 1 ramrod there, where normally you're supposed to get 3. And that makes a huge, huge difference in sort of the speedrun routing, but even casually, that's going to put you in such a bad spot for dealing with some of these enemies.
Oh yeah, the ramrods are your real only way of killing the white variant molded, because it one-shots them and it's super, super valuable. Yeah. Not having it casually is just a nightmare. Okay, we got refunded on a grenade. That's pretty good.
This is also a new enemy type specific to this DLC. We have these little, I don't know, spider babies. I don't know.
They're like the face huggers from like Half-Life, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
They do the exact same grabbing animation where if they jump on you and grab, they will do that same thing.
And similar to main game, we have the ability to mess with our inventory while we're waiting for elevators and stuff like that, which is great because there's a lot of like waiting for doors to open, waiting for elevators. So you're going to see inventory manipulation during those opportunities. Oh, not quite getting the perfect block there, but that's okay. You also notice Chris has a different method of healing. He doesn't use the juice. He uses those med injectors. And bit of a tricky part here. So you're going to watch Zeke. He's going to go to 30 FPS and he's going to throw this grenade. There is a row of turrets at the end of this tunnel. And if that grenade does not go off like right when it did, those turrets will pretty much instant kill you. They kind of like lock you in place and you just die. And on top of that, we have to deal with the 2 crawlers.
Yeah, that area is just so scary because you can just take so much damage so fast.
Yeah, really nicely done, though.
Yeah, very, very happy to get through that. A lot of this area, you mentioned at the start of the game, this is very Metroidvania, this DLC specifically. You're going through this area so much, like back to this hub over and over and over. As you can tell, we still don't have a gun. You know, we're multiple minutes in, still no weapon, and we're finally going to get our first one which is essentially going to be like a watered down version of the Albert that is significantly weaker, but it does the trick for a while.
Yeah. The important thing about it is that we can use our ramrods with it.
Yeah, that is the good thing about it.
Yeah, but besides using them on the white variant molded guys, we will also be using the ramrods to do crazy amounts of damage to bosses in some situations. But like damage, our ammo on the high damage ammo, it's like you got to use it so sparingly. You can't really be as liberal as you'd like to, you know?
Yeah, it's like this DLC's version of enhanced ammo is essentially what it is.
But yeah,
and
basically.
we do not get beyond double digits of it. We're usually only like 9 or 10 bullets max we get of it. So we have specific spots we want to use it on.
Also a fun little section with the perfect dodges and then pushing the carts. So this is obviously Lucas is doing like just 18 bombs like in this section alone.
Oh, I parried too late.
Oh no.
I'm gonna just use the heal first before grabbing this. Just so we do not get messed with. Got stuck in that guy, but that's all right.
Really just kind of like a very reactive section in terms of, yeah, nice. In terms of how you have to play through here, because enemies aren't necessarily going to do the same thing every time. And you kind of have to like know what to look out for, which enemies are going to be a threat, which enemies you can safely ignore. Somehow missed that one.
I'm not quite sure.
Hey, you okay?
Oh, right. Laser room. So any of these lasers is death. You're going to see Zeke uncrouch a little bit here, but really can't play this section too fast. And then on top of the lasers, we have these like bug dudes, which if they trip the lasers, that's also death. And then also our bullets will go through them. And if a bullet hits the bomb part of the laser, that'll also trigger the entire room.
Yeah.
So just like a lot of ways to instantly die in this room.
Yeah, there's just tons of ways to just drop immediately. This room is brutal because these enemies, these like Carl enemies here, I believe are only here on professional. And so they're just all over the place. And the whole jumping into lasers thing is probably the worst part about them, is they can just jump into a laser and set off the whole room. But thankfully they didn't that time. And now I'm free to pick up what I need to pick up. It's a little bit of a loot room. The biggest thing about this room is like we get the shotgun here in a second, as well as we get a bunch of ramrods up here too. We get a ramrod rather, not a bunch. I forgot we just get the one, but we get the shotgun, and this shotgun is essentially what's going to carry us for a lot of interactions here. We're gonna wait for this guy to do his little dialogue. We find out that the bomb's going to go off on his neck.
It's ketchup packets. It's the new Wendy's sauce. It's fine, dude. He's all right. He's straight.
Homie number 2 successfully saved.
We're doing great.
We are doing awesome, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, this shotgun's actually really cool. Again, unique to this DLC. Another weapon that I'm like, man, it'd be really cool if we could like bring this over to main game somehow. It holds like 12 bullets. It has a sight. You can like aim down the sight. It's like real Call of Duty style.
Yeah, it's super, super nice. Now we're gonna do a retry here. This is one of like the best retries I've ever seen because it just actually skips the whole ladder and everything entirely. Just sends you straight to the top. Saves a good chunk of time.
Also restarts the timer. So we are now on a timer. Oh no, speedrunner on a timer. Who could have seen this coming? But essentially, we have to get through this area or else we die. Casually, this timer actually is pretty tight if you don't know exactly where you're supposed to go.
Oh, you got so fast there.
No.
It's all right. We get a lot of heals for a reason.
Yeah. So essentially, we're forced to go through the areas that we were previously in, except now we're going to be heading into sort of the latter half of this run, which just becomes a boss rush, pretty much. We have like a boss rush. We have kind of like a cabin section, RE4 style, and then we have another boss after that, and that kind of wraps up the DLC, really.
Yeah, it's very back-loaded, I would say, for sure, especially on professional, where we don't get weapons until later. The last half of this, which is essentially starting now, where we get a whole bunch of stuff going on.
Yeah. Yeah, running through all these sections, except now they threw in like a ton more enemies. We have the white variant molded, which if you were to try and take time and like kill everything here, like you're gonna run out of ammo and you're gonna run out of ramrods, most importantly. So you really don't even have the choice here. Really tricky one, getting past this guy without using a ramrod. Nice. Again, going to 30 just helps you squeeze past enemies, but also makes it slightly less likely that you're going to get multi-hit by them. And then we are setting up for the Mama Molded fight, which this is a pretty sort of choreographed fight. We're going to open up with a neuro grenade, which is going to slow her down.
Okay.
No,
right.
not the bump, dude. Okay, adapting. The important thing here is when she's staggered like this, which I'm glad we got the stagger, Zeke has to do headshots in a really specific spot to properly do damage to her. And damage thresholds are really important for pretty much all the bosses in this DLC. And throwing another nade to stagger her again, and then 7 shotgun shots, I believe. And then we should get the boulder punch. Nice. And then 4 ramrods here. Again, very important that these shots land because we don't have a lot of ammo to work with.
Okay, recovered
and that's it. Yeah, really nice recovery, honestly.
She just egoed the neuro grenade. They were just maybe a tad too early.
That that bump move that she does is like super dangerous because once you're on the ground, she can actually just hit you again and it's over.
It was that, and the fact that she bounced my grenade back at me, and I got hit by that as well, and I was in danger the whole fight. So next hit killed me, so punched it out basically.
pretty spooky section. So we disarmed the bomb by dipping our hand in nitroglycerin, I think.
Yeah, don't know if that's how that works.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure that would really work.
I'm not a scientist guy. You know, I still refer to oceans and lakes as big water and little water, but I don't know.
Big water, little water.
I don't know about all that.
Yeah. Right. So heading into the cabin section. This section is it's a pain to optimize. It's like one of the worst things. It's really hard to do this section fast. We're going to be kind of manipulating death animations. We want to get certain death animations that are specifically faster because every enemy needs to sort of die for the next wave of enemies to come in. And that death of the enemy includes the animation of them dying. So if they're like wiggling around on the ground and if we sort of decapitate them incorrectly, then we're just going to spend a bunch of extra time waiting around for the next wave of enemies to spawn. So it's like if this section goes correctly, you won't really notice that it takes a while for enemies to spawn. But if any one of these enemies decides to do a long death animation, you're totally going to notice.
Yeah. All right. Shotgun ammo looks pretty all right for this. RNG wasn't too bad to us. And now we gotta wait for everything to spawn and hopefully not die.
Let's just see how impressive you really are.
Let's see how impressive you really are. So opening up here with a fire grenade, unfortunate hit.
That's a cheap shot too.
Yeah, so the goal here is going to be mostly legs and heads. That tends to give you the fastest death animation. So getting them staggered on the ground, and then if they're still alive, going for the headshot, switching to ramrods or the white variant molded, going for leg shots with the shotgun, finishing with the head. You can see that guy like still wiggling around on the ground. That slows down the next phase. So until he's completely still, fully dead, we kind of have to wait. So that was like probably like 5 or 6 seconds of time loss. And then similarly on these guys, getting the shots off correctly on the crawlers, the 4-legged molded, is really tough. And you can see even with the tall molded, sometimes like your shots just don't land where you would expect them to. Using some pistol to finish off here, switching back to the ramrods. Headshot that guy. I think we have just a couple more to go before the final.
All right.
Oh, okay, nice. Now we're gonna have 2 fat molded bust through here, and similarly,
You're slowing down.
He was still dying.
he was still dying.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So similarly, we need to shoot them in the right spot and at the right time for them to go down as fast as possible to end the section as quickly as possible. Nice.
All right, not bad. Not bad.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad that at least 2 of those death animations were slow.
So you
just
have
for
an
the-
idea of what we're talking about?
Yeah, because that can happen for every single phase. If you shoot them wrong, you will lose time on every single enemy that needs to spawn in, pretty much.
Yeah.
So really deceptively hard to optimize this section.
They get very Oscar award-winning death animations. Like they'll sit there and they'll like
Yeah.
take so long to die. And a lot of it has to do with also this shotgun also sprays a little bit. So like you wouldn't be able to like guarantee every shot hits exactly where you want it to. That's where it's like a huge pain. Like there were moments where you
Yeah.
saw I was aiming at a leg and I accidentally hit their arm.
Yeah, there was like 2 of those shots that were just nonsense where you were point blank at the leg and you shot and somehow like their arm fell off.
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Now Lucas has essentially blown the whole place up, and he's convinced that this is going to kill us, and we snuck through the vents, as you do.
Yeah, really not a lot of pressure on you when you know exactly where to go in that section, but there are other vents, so, you know, in a casual playthrough, you would be in a panic trying to find that.
Yeah,
But we're speedrunning. We don't
we
care.
are speedrunning. We're getting right through it real quick.
Yeah.
There's a couple molds that are going to spawn here, but they're really non-threatening for the most part. There's a big molded that spawns here, but he kind of just walks and sprays incorrectly at the wall. And then this guy jumps up and jumps down. Not really sure why.
Yeah.
Now we see
Honestly,
Lucas.
at this point, I think they just fear Chris. They're like,
They should.
oh, I totally missed. I couldn't hit him. He was so good.
Yeah, Chris is not trapped in here with them. They are trapped in
Yeah.
here with Chris.
So Lucas thought we were dead after the explosion, so we kind of jump scared Lucas there, which is a fun little cutscene if you look at the window. Also, the fake turret.
Fake turret
That's
is a
fun.
good one too, yeah. And now this room gives you so much ammo. Like I have 72 shotgun shells already.
Yeah.
Are we gonna break 100? 102 shotgun shells. That's what
Wow,
we're talking
nice.
about.
Know about our little AV.
Grab a whole bunch of stuff.
I mean, yeah, we get a lot of stuff in this room, and kind of with good reason. This next boss fight is
You let me
maybe the most complicated boss fight in Resident Evil 7. Just in terms of how his phases work, how his damage works, how his weak points work. Like, he is without a doubt like over-engineered in terms of being a boss fight.
Yeah, he's very, very tricky. You'll see me do a lot of stuff and do a lot of certain timings that don't really make sense, but in the grand scheme, it's to like, I know I'm doing damage at parts when I'm able to do damage. And this is the final boss of this DLC. Obviously, it's Lucas. We shot him, and now he turns into a big old monster, and he's a really cool boss. I think he's really well designed. I think he's really sick. But the fight is a lot of dancing around this room, basically.
Yeah. I actually do have notes for this fight because this fight is really complicated. There's a lot of like iframe shenanigans that happens in this fight. If you've ever experimented with speedrunning this, you'll quickly realize that like the variance in times you'll get when trying to do this fight is just crazy. Doing this fight, anything less than optimal, you'll lose like a minute to 2 minutes because Luke he'll start jumping up on stuff. He'll start doing like extra dialogue. It just gets crazy. So first things first, we're gonna shove him in this direction, which looks kind of goofy, and then open up with a flame round, and then we are going to do shots, some of which are actually during what is technically iframes, and you'll notice when Zeke gets close for those chest shots on his heart, we need that blood animation that you see, because otherwise they're not actually hitting his weak spot. They're still doing damage, just not the correct amount of damage. And then as soon as he jumps down, we're gonna get a stagger off on him, throwing nades, and then moving close for the shotgun shots. So far, this is pretty good.
What, a double stagger?
Yeah, throwing a flame round. Yeah, he should have jumped up, right?
Yeah, he just staggered.
Throwing a flame round.
I think I did one less shot than I was supposed to, but that's all right.
Weird. And then again, staggering when he jumps down is really important because he'll launch into this big combo. But this way we get the full stagger,
Nice.
and that's Lucas, dude. That was so insanely
good.
clean.
Yeah, that was clean.
Yeah.
Time will come up as soon as this cutscene starts here in a moment.
Nice.
Time.
GG.
That was pretty good. 26 IGT, not bad. Not bad.
Yeah, that was rad. Honestly, that Lucas fight went way better than I expected. That's the best I've seen you do it.
Yeah, honestly, I don't play a whole lot of professional for Not a Hero. But yeah, I practiced that fight a little bit before we went live here today, and I was I'm happy that turned out so well. That was pretty good.
Nice.
As they say, practice pays off, huh?
It does pay off. You know what they say? They do say that. Practice pays off and also makes perfect. But wait, there's more.
Yeah, that is true. We do have one more Resident Evil 7 run for you in a moment. That one was Not a Hero. There's actually a lot of DLCs, but we're checking out two of the major ones. So you do have one more major one for you, and this is going to be a big fan favorite. If you want to do a plug again, you can. Otherwise, I can read a couple of announcements before we get to our last game of the night, our last run of the night, I should say.
You can read a couple of announcements. We'll do the plugs at the end.
Sounds good. Just once again, in case you did miss them and want to know, you find Captain Ezekiel somewhere in the Twitch chat, I believe. I think his link is there, and he'll be on for GDQ. And speaking of GDQ stuff, Black in a Flash is a community that uplifts and connects Black speedrunners of all levels, offering a space to collaborate on speedruns, challenge runs, and randomizers while celebrating Black voices in the speedrunning scene. Learn more or apply to join at gdq.gg/BAF and follow blackinaflash.bsky.social for updates. Don't miss the upcoming events as well. Speeding through the holidays, December 27th to the 28th, and Back to Black 2026 on February 5th to the 8th. As well, we do have a GDQ Discord in case you ever missed it, want to get more involved. You can find the GDQ Discord, I believe, at the !Discord command and chats, and you can find out more about upcoming events, chat with staff, and more. Anyway, we'll be right back really quick with the last run of the night. All right, everyone. Welcome back from the break. Hopefully you enjoyed that run of Not a Hero. You can see all the action fun kind of leads into Resident Evil 7 that you missed from the main campaign, but sometimes you kind of wonder, because after all, Thanksgiving is about family, right? And sometimes you get to see family you don't see as often. Speaking of which, this is a fan favorite DLC. You might know it. If you don't know it, well, I'm sure you'll love it very soon. We get to see an unknown member of the family, Joe Baker, kind of punch his way through the swamp, which, yes, this will be a weird boxing DLC. If you've never seen it, you're in for a treat. Especially with how difficult it might be. Here is End of Zoe. I believe the category is Joe Must Die with Captain Ezekiel. Take it away.
Thank you, Ek. Hello again, everybody. I just ran Not a Hero, and I also ran Madhouse a moment ago. We're doing End of Zoe, Joe Must Die. This is a not very seen very often DLC, even though it is a massive fan favorite. The last time it was, if you've seen on a mainline GDQ, was GDQ 2021, I believe, ran by Maxi Lobes, where he ran New Game Easy. I'll be running New Game Joe Must Die. What makes this so hard is everything hurts, everything hits really hard, and bombs and traps one-shot Joe. And I don't have very many cutscenes, autosaves. So again, he's still here. My commentator, Niddle.
Still here.
Still here.
For the third round. Some would say.
I didn't hear no bell. And that's going to be a reoccurring theme with Joe because we're punching our way through. So time will start when I skip the cutscene. So in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Thank you. So Joe, Baby Baker.
The other games were Metroidvanias. This one is Super Punch Out.
Beat 'em up.
Yeah, it's literally a beat 'em up. So the whole goal here in a lot of these sections is going to be getting through these doors and killing enemies in a way that they are not going to interfere with us getting through these doors because they won't let us pass unless the enemies are dead. Also, the general gist of this is we are Joe Baker, brother of Jack Baker. Nice. And we are trying to save Zoe.
Yeah, and Joe must die, kind of like Madhouse. There's tricks everywhere. These bombs are everywhere. And they do one shot if I touch them. And our checkpoints are far and few between. So if I do die during this run, I will have to go back a little bit. There's not much really around it. Hopefully that's not the case. I'm just going to play this a little safe and not risk it.
Yeah. These bombs are pretty ridiculous. We're gonna actually be doing a trick with the bombs that we can't really do in main game or don't really have a purpose for doing. You're gonna notice Joe's arsenal is pretty limited. His main weapon is his fist, and we're gonna be picking up some throwables. So we have like these throwable knives. We also have javelins that we're gonna be getting essentially later. These like wooden spears. And a few other cool items.
Yeah. And a lot of the story of what's going on here, this is Zoe. She's turned into like this crystallized being because of the infection of the mutamycete, and Evelyn dying has kind of caused this reaction in her that's kind of crystallizing her body, and we're trying to cure her as her uncle. So the Umbrella crew that came here with Chris, this takes place a couple weeks after. This is one of them. Joe took hostage to help figure out what's going on. The whole objective here is to get Zoe cured. While Joe does have a limited arsenal, he actually has the most unique arsenal out of any part of the game. Because not only do we have the fists, which are not a thing in any other DLC or main game, we get these throwing knives, we get the throwable spears, and we get the Infinity Gauntlet later. Almost literally. This guy got taken through, and he got thrown back through. He's not doing too hot. And we're just kind of waiting here to pick Zoe up.
You know, I've never seen a cosplay of this version of Zoe, but I feel like it would go super hard.
It would look so cool. This version of Zoe looks really cool. Like the white hair and everything just looks really, really sick.
Yeah. Also, that Swamp Man, I don't know who that is, but that guy is spooky.
That guy's, it's Cthulhu.
Yeah.
He is here. We got a new enemy type with him. I want to think if there's any other new enemy types in this. I think it's just him, I believe, as the only new... Oh, no, not true. Gators.
Yeah.
Gators, that's right.
Straight up alligators.
There's alligators. And they're like kind of infected. They got like little bubbles on them. So I wish they would have leaned a bit more in the mold with them, but I think they look pretty cool. He burned our house down. Not cool.
Not cool.
So not only do bombs one-shot me, alligators also will one-shot me. So I can't aggro them. So there'll be a lot of tricks and things I'm going to try to do to avoid them, messing me up as bad as they can. And I will be making safety saves all around to ensure that we don't get set too far back in the event that I do die.
Yeah, there are a lot of opportunities for instant death. I would say more so than Not a Hero, actually, because like there are a few sections where they just kind of like throw them at you like one after the other, and we're not like the stationary bombs are one thing, but like the gators are another thing, and then there's just a lot that can hurt. We also have the big big arm variant of the molded, which I think is unique to this. The spiky dudes.
Yeah, oh, true. Yeah, we got like a spiky big arm molded. That is true. So there's a couple of different new enemy types in this. Yeah, and like Little said, while End of Zoe is a bit more straightforward in terms of the DLC itself, I would say this is the one I'm more worried about dying in than any of the others, as you can die in one hit. Since it's kind of a callback to Ethan Must Die, which is a DLC game mode that also you can get, where Ethan is literally 1 health everywhere you go. So it's kind of like that. And now we have to carry Zoe through this water. This is where a gator is going to show up. I have to take a very specific line here to avoid dying to it, which is going to be hopefully straight through here. I just have to get through this without him touching me. All right, perfect. That's really, really close. If I take an incorrect line at all, he just bites me.
Just you wait here.
We lay her down, and we're going to make a quick safety save.
I'll be back with something to make you.
A few of these sections are going to look like, well, you didn't do anything too fancy, but I watched Zeke die to that gator like 3 times when he was practicing the other night.
Yeah, it was nasty.
just going slightly the wrong way can be a problem. Also, stealth is a mechanic now. We have stealth in our Resident Evil 7 game. So we actually have stealth kills, and it is important that we don't aggro certain enemies in certain areas. Just so we can get through these like little checkpoint doors as fast as possible. That was.
I just think the molded have ears.
Doesn't look like it, you know?
That they could hear you.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they
They
sense.
have ear holes.
Yeah.
And our first boss.
Swamp Man. Nice combo. Opening up strong. The goal is to not get kicked or punched. Believe it or not. Really nice.
That was actually so
and now
clean.
we can, yeah, super nice. Now we can proceed through the door.
And what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to step in here and make another safety save.
Yeah, good call.
Because otherwise, if I die here, I have to go back and fight him again.
Yeah. Really, really punishing in this one. I mean, you know, Madhouse is punishing in terms of the checkpoints and the safety saves and stuff like that. But this one, it has some moments where there is no way you have enough cassette tapes to like possibly save at the next section where you could die. So you just kind of have to like wing it for certain parts.
Go 30 FPS there to kind of make that alligator miss.
Nice.
So blow up that bomb for us, which is nice. And now we have 2 more gators who have to walk around here, and we're coming up on a very tricky stealth section that requires some very, very precise timing to ensure that we do not miss the timings, because all the timing is super important when you're going for these stealth areas, because you have to catch molded going to certain places and kill them in time so another molded does not aggro. We haven't shown off the stealth kill mechanic yet, I don't believe. We did it once for the crawler, but there's a stealth kill mechanic that we can do on molded, which actually looks really, really cool.
Yeah, it is nice that we do have the opportunity to instant kill. It's just, you know, for speed running purposes, there's only so much room for stealth, you know?
Yeah. What we're going to do here, and this is kind of where it matters a lot. There's a lot of molded up here. We're going to go grab an item and then jump down into an area, and we're going to hopefully execute a molded really, really fast before it can get too far away from us.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait a second.
This looks cool when it works. Nice one.
Now we kill him. We have to get behind this box before the other one aggroes over there. And he did, so it's a little unlucky. So we're going to have to beat him up as best we can.
Yeah, and this is the new variant of molded. You'll notice there's a very specific combo to the punches, and it's actually kind of critical that you get that combo because it buys you some time with the staggering to actually, you know, sort of stun lock the enemy. And there are certain situations where it's like not getting that can just lead to death because you get comboed in return. So there's it's not as mashing as it might look because you're timing your combos very specifically.
Yeah, having to burn my heal there is kind of rough. We did hit that bomb trigger at 30 FPS, which is actually a little trickier than it looks to trigger that bomb without actually blowing it up on ourselves. And we need to wait for this guy to come hit this bomb. And now we're gonna go step on him to kill him. And now let's just get through this door without the other enemy being aggroed. This is where it gets a little spooky. I'm gonna grab that cassette tape. And we got a couple more bombs here. We're gonna crouch this one and crouch under this one as well. And now we're gonna kind of wait here for a minute. He's gonna set off that trap and get close to this bomb. We need him to be close enough so I can do this. And I'm gonna stomp on him. And that should kill him. The other one behind us died. Now there's a crawler that spawns here. I need a headshot. Like that. And now there's a bat mode that's gonna spawn. And again, this is where we have to use the traps in the room to our advantage. So we're gonna wait here and make him walk over here. He's gonna hit this bomb that's right here. I'm gonna run past him. And then he's gonna do the same thing, except we're gonna make him blow up this bomb. And now he's gonna fall to the ground. I just gotta kill him before he becomes active. Nice.
There's always like a moment when you go to break that door that it's like, is everybody dead?
Yeah, you kind of just hoping.
If somebody's just like crawling around on the ground in the other room, you have to go find them.
Yeah, and the files are in the computer, so you gotta punch it.
Files are in the computer.
In the computer. We're coming up on our second boss fight. I'm gonna go to 60 FPS for this one. This one is very scary. The chances of dying are not low, since it is actually a very difficult fight. He's very fast. And it's kind of a two-phase fight, essentially. Hello, buddy. Welcome back. He was not dead.
Turns out. Really cool sort of mask they've got for him.
I'm going to try to focus for this fight since getting hit is a lot of damage and I have to react a lot to what he does.
Yeah, so this fight is going to look kind of like a wrestling match, honestly, if done correctly. The goal here, and it's a very specific set of dodges, is to stagger him in a way that we can do a special move. And we're kind of like playing with the threshold of his HP. Nice. We're kind of playing with the threshold of his HP just so that we don't phase him too much and have to attack him extra times. This is a really tough fight.
Oh, he does multiples here. Okay, I'm going to back up a second.
Eat a bug.
Ooh, as you
nice. Back in there. You got this.
Oh
no. Oh no. Yeah.
Oh no. All right. We took the death.
Yeah, that's just a crazy fight.
It is a very challenging fight to do without
round
dying,
two.
especially
You got
round
this.
2. I didn't hear no bell. Get me back in there. Yeah, without a lot of heals, and the healing animation for Joe takes forever. It takes a long time for him to actually eat the bugs and heal. Okay, we get round 2.
See, I'm gonna have the same sentiment when it comes to the second plate for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Get right back in there.
Get back in there, yeah.
I'll even have the "you are dead" part of it too. After the first plate, just die.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it feels. All right, round 2. This time for sure.
Part of the problem with this fight is his attacks, like he launches into his attacks so fast that it's kind of hard to call what the next thing he's gonna do. All right, hit him with the RKO. I think that's what that is. Hit him with the Old Bay seasoning.
That was a power bomb, by the way.
Is that a power bomb? Sorry.
Power bomb.
I'm gonna kite that out because he's gonna do a bunch of punches now. I didn't circle that one correctly. I'm trying to kite him. Please stop.
Oh, the combo,
my
the
God, he
wombo
goes-
combo.
All right, we go
Yeah.
again. We get me back in
I
there.
also, as a nice little, I guess, tidbit for this DLC, out of all of these, I think this is probably the hardest.
It is. I would totally agree.
It is
I would say.
busted. Like, if you're doing Madhouse casually, it's fun, it's balanced, it's nice. If you do this, like, Zeke's been making this look a lot easier than it might seem, because I think I've tried it a couple of times, and every time I stop playing after the first hallway, because I'm like, this is horrible.
Yeah,
it is.
I mean,
it is meant to be kind of a gimmicky, very difficult challenge. For our hardest difficulty.
there's a reason why it's closer to Ethan Must Die than it is to Madhouse, I would say, just in terms of how punishing it is.
You know what they say, the third tries the charm.
Third tries the charm. You got this.
The third plate.
Opening up with
Third
that
plate.
attack is so messed up.
Going in for the leftovers.
Come on, buddy.
There you go. Reload. Eat a centipede. I don't know if that's approved. That might be considered a performance-enhancing drug. Yeah, those combos are ridiculous.
How about we calm down?
Wow. Wow. Eat that grub. It's good health.
Oh!
Bear Grylls approves. Wow. Wow.
I didn't hear no bell. I didn't hear no bell.
I didn't hear no bell.
I didn't hear no bell. All right. Oh, he's not
Wow.
dead. Oh my God, we have another phase.
Oh,
That's
no.
maybe I did hear a
He's
bell.
got to be close. He's got to be close. No.
Dude.
Oh,
Dude.
no.
Oh my goodness. This is the hardest boss in the game. The hardest part of the game. I'll be very transparent. We're making up for all the deaths we didn't take in Madhouse and in Not a Hero.
You're making up for the 18 previous runs you've done with no deaths.
Yeah. This is my penance for having a deathless SGDQ run, and for the 2 runs before this, I have to pay up. I am glad I'm dying a little bit just to really show you guys, though, this isn't easy in any way, shape, or form. Like, kind of really emphasizes like how messed up this is. And I have 4,000 hours in this game. He is brutal.
It's also called Joe Must Die, not Joe Must Live.
Yeah. This is the one. I have faith. Good opener.
For what it's worth as well, you were 7 minutes underestimate on the first run, so you could just put that for this.
No, I think past this fight, it's still likely underestimate.
Oh,
guy.
probably.
It's just this fight. All right, hit him with the whatever this move is.
Powerbomb.
Powerbomb.
Or if you want to have a more specific one, you can have the last ride.
Hit him with the last ride.
Yeah, I think it was the Undertaker's like version of the powerbomb.
I like that. I know nothing
Yeah, it fits
about
the horror
wrestling.
vibe.
Oh God, here we go.
Also, he just swallows a centipede whole. What a monster.
Oh my God, he did it again.
Oh, not this.
I actually don't know which one this is.
Oh. It's kind of impressive that they gave Swamp Man so many moves. Also, his voice is oddly familiar. I can't Pinpoint it.
Oh, we did it.
Oh my gosh.
We got him.
Now we're using the
DA0.
ultimate Thanksgiving wrestling move of tearing off another man's skull. Don't try this one at, at the family dinner.
Oh yeah, we're not trying this one. Lying to children, totally fine. I wouldn't recommend this one.
Honestly, that's how I feel when I'm like ripping the leg off of a turkey. I'm like, why do I have? Why is this such a visceral experience at my Thanksgiving dinner?
You're ripping off the turkey leg and just throwing it across the table.
Yeah.
It was first try, by the way. I'm sure everyone's aware of that.
First try.
First try, as long as you don't stop trying.
Oh.
Well done, dude.
It's all one big try.
It cannot be understated how hard that fight is.
Yeah, I hope you guys can understand that, seeing how bad that was, like how much damage he does per hit and how fast he is.
The combos, yeah.
There's a reason why you don't see Joe Must Die very often.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, he's back. He has back his skull.
Yeah.
He's never actually dead. All right, now we're taking another little boat ride.
Zoe, where are you?
That is like the most sweatiest I've ever been on a boss fight in Resident Evil 7, I think, like in my whole life. I got grinded for world records for years that have made me super sweaty. That is the hardest I've ever tried at anything in my life.
I'm proud of you.
I had to punch that guy quite a bit.
That's awesome.
Also, oddly enough, do you think Zoe could breathe underwater? Like, they're swimming, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I was wondering if she has like regenerative abilities because of this, right? Like, if she's like kind of like
her
Ethan.
lungs are regenerating because
In the chrysalis form, yeah.
Yeah. Take a little ride through the swamp.
Ew, it's a swamp.
Yeah. It's
Some calm before the storm because that section was rough. Now we have like, I don't know, just like a fun house of traps coming up.
Yeah, traps, enemies everywhere. We get introduced to.
Yeah.
We get to actually get introduced to the gators a bit, where we actually have to kill them. What's funny is on Joe Must Die, we have to use weapons to kill them, but on easy, you can actually kind of just like bump them in the snout and they'll run away.
Yeah.
You'll boot
Which is
snoop.
Arguably more realistic.
Yeah. That is more realistic. Yeah, if you run into a gator, you punch him on like the nose if you're threatened or something.
I mean, if you're Joe Baker specifically, I don't know about me or you, honestly.
That is the caveat. You have to be Joe. Let's see if there's...
And then, do we talk about exactly who Joe is?
Joe is the brother of Jack Baker. He's the uncle to Zoe Baker and to Lucas Baker. Joe knows that Lucas is weird, though. He kind of mentions it. So yeah, that kid's kind of strange.
Yeah.
And then they mentioned in the very beginning with the manual, I believe, but he was a former world champion boxer.
Oh. That little timer.
And that's why he can. Oh, go ahead.
All right, now it's a speed run. You have a timer.
Speed
Go.
run, yeah. No, that makes sense. Like, that's probably why he can beat the heck out of everything. This timer you're seeing in the top right is something that unlocks after you beat Joe Must Die. It's just a little timer challenge that shows up. Doesn't impact the game at all. But if you do all like the extreme challenges, you'll like unlock really cool things like the Spirit Blade, which sounds way cooler than it is. It actually is a really horrible weapon.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Blade?
Yeah.
Yeah. And but the really cool weapon that you unlock, you get like get these like 2 like infinity gauntlets, and you just kind of run around and double fisted punch everything. And it's a lot of fun, especially after the frustration of like playing through Joe Must Die.
Yeah.
Yeah, and these timers are in fact tight if you're trying to go for these survival challenges or whatever.
Because of the lines we have to take here to be safe, we don't ever meet this one. But the other ones we generally do every time. Sure, make another save here. This is why I grabbed all the extra cassette tapes, so we can just make saves. Because dying here sets us all the way back to that boat. Now there's a gator right here next to us, and we need to get on this ladder, so I have to go around here and throw this blade at this bomb. And I can't be too close or else it'll one-shot me. Now we have more traps here. We're just going to run over. Can't go too slow or I'll die. And we're running to this room. There's a mold that's going to spawn. We're going to grab that throwing knife. Throw that, and we're gonna step on him twice to kill him. And grab this other throwing knife that we need.
Just a crazy amount of
Swamp
traps.
has all these bombs, by the way.
It's
Swamp.
it's just ridiculous.
We're gonna stop.
There's another one there.
Yeah, we have to go 30 to get through it. We're gonna bust open this door. And we're gonna do a little enemy despawn trick where we break this. I'm gonna run backwards and go back and despawn the enemies that are in this room. And if I do this pause buffering correctly, you can get to this door before this molded spawns, which I did not.
Yeah, there's like 2 enemies that can spawn in that room that are really annoying to deal with because you have to kill everything before you can break this door down.
And now we have a fat molded that spawns here, which does not typically spawn on any other difficulty. Throw that to knock him back, and then throw that to hit him with that one. And then we're gonna run
What
over
was that
here.
bomb on the ground connected to?
It is. There's one underneath the bridge. We need this guy to walk near us. Okay, he somehow hit me with that. That's kind of crazy behavior, but we got him. And now there's another bomb to our left and another enemy that spawns to our left. And if I do this, we're actually spending this whole DLC using the bombs against the enemies. So I'm gonna grab these heals and all of this stuff here. Here, grab the save, grab these knives. We're gonna make a save here.
What is kind of interesting and fun about this DLC is in New Game Plus you get a sort of infinite ammo type item, similar to the one that you get in main game for like beating main game. But the one in Joe Must Die actually affects all of the like throwables and remote bombs. So you could just run around and like drop like 50 remote bombs, which is a lot of fun. These remote bombs are actually really fun to just kill enemies with.
We need to make 6 of them. We actually need a 7th one if I can find a tree branch to do it. We're gonna execute that guy. We're gonna use the spears here. Kill him. Kill him. And they should spawn the double fat molded. And I'm gonna run back here and kind of line of sight them and force them to spawn and come to me. Oh, this one didn't die, but sorry, I can punch him down.
I did a little hop.
Good. All right. Crisis averted.
Nice.
Had to do a lot of dodging there, but, you know, we actually somehow didn't get hit.
Yeah.
I think he might have stepped away from that 3rd bomb or something, but now we're going to grab Zoe, and he's here again. Still not dead.
Cutscene.
Yes, cutscene's
Super
sick.
cool cutscene.
No way.
No way.
It's Jack Baker. He's still alive.
Old man Jenkins.
Old man, Jank. How many times should I teach you this lesson, old man? This will be probably like the 8th or 9th time we've killed Jack. Like, it feels like you kill him so often. It's kind of insanity.
If you want to be technical about it, this is like Jack 7. If we were like from Jack 3 in main game, like we're on like Jack 7.
Yeah, we are really deep into Jacks on this one. Like, we got Jack's 7 or 8 will be the last one. We do have to fight him at the very end. There's the Demented Salad is a proprietor of this category in this game, and his headcanon, and I'm inclined to agree, is that he pushes Joe out here under the water and he sinks, and you would think Joe would just drown here, but he thinks that Jack pulls him ashore as like a sliver of like his humanity. Maybe he's still there and like saves his brother or something, which I'd like to believe is heartwarming and could happen.
Yeah.
Or, hear me out, because this will explain 2 things. Maybe the Baker family has gills.
But what's that?
It's a genetic thing. Well, because Zoe was underwater.
Zoe, yeah.
Oh, you
It all comes back.
They swam all the way here, too. It's not like it was a quick pull.
Theory 3. Joe punches his way out. Despite being underwater in a wooden casket, he like does, like the Kill Bill sort of thing, and he like just focuses all that energy into one punch. He gets out.
See, I don't deny that. I'm more denying the water in his lungs.
Oh yeah, that's still going to be a problem probably.
Because in Kill Bill, they're on land.
You have to retry. That guy can sometimes just eat the blade, which causes me to not be able to actually progress because there's like blow up barrels, like red barrels there that we have to explode. Let's just try that again here.
Fortunately, one of the only spots we can use a checkpoint.
Yeah, it's actually not that bad of a checkpoint.
Yeah.
There we go. And now we get the Infinity Gauntlet.
Let's go.
The Advanced Multi-Purpose Gauntlet.
Okay, the physics of this thing. How it makes you punch hard?
Yeah, it's meant to be a tool to help you lift and move stuff effectively. I don't know how.
Yeah, and also like this would mess you up, man. Something that makes you punch at that velocity, like I don't know.
Yeah, it's a strange little weapon. That is for sure.
It's really cool though.
Charges. It's meant to move like equipment, right?
Yeah. No, but you charge it up,
and
it
charges for that.
and it tells you that it's charging too. It goes charging. Which,
and we need to move some pallets. Can you charge it up?
Charging.
Did you plug in the gauntlet? We're gonna use it. To move
I forgot to charge the gauntlet, dude.
Also, they only have one.
Yeah, well, so in New Game Plus, you do actually get two, which is really, really fun.
It is, yeah.
If you charge both of them at the same time, it looks like Joe is riding around on an invisible motorcycle.
Yeah, it looks like this, but you got two of them.
Yeah, you got two of them. It's like he's on a Harley, just cruising.
Also, his hand is vibrating. That's horrifying.
Yeah, it doesn't look very comfortable.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, that would wreck your hand.
I also like that guy just had like a crawfish on him.
Yeah, he was hanging out.
So this is our final get all your stuff, get ready for a boss fight section. Essentially, all the BSAA sort of umbrella people that came here, it did not go well for them.
Yeah, now we're gonna put some bomb downs preemptively for this last fight here. We're gonna interact with Zoe, and Jack is gonna show back up. And there's RNG here. We want him to jump into our bombs. I'm gonna throw a spear at his head to interrupt him.
My God, that's a horrifying image.
God, such a funny fight with the spears coming out of his head.
Yeah. I do have to be careful.
So you'll see, it's a very similar combo here. Just on that left hook, we're doing a crazy amount of damage. Ooh.
You ain't cheating now, are you?
Also, he poured the liquid on the gauntlet.
Straight on the gauntlet. Yeah,
that's gonna
that
ruin.
helps. Yeah, it's short circuited at this point. The first aid juice is most definitely conductive.
Don't do it.
Oh,
Eat that crawfish faster, buddy.
yeah, both halves.
Hold on.
Nice dodge. Yeah, he also has this like venom arm now. Super cool.
All right. Time will come up. That's the fight.
GG.
Really sick ending to this. Now he's actually gone this time.
The farewell from the family.
Time will come up when the cutscene starts here in a moment.
Zoe, hang in there.
We saved the
You'll
day.
be all right now. Zoe.
And time.
Wake up, Zoe.
All right, not too bad.
Awesome.
Not too bad. Honestly, we threw 277 punches.
That is such a hard DLC, honestly, to get through it in anything anything short of an hour is like impressive.
Yeah, that one was brutal. But yeah, that was End of Zoe. Joe Must Die. There's a reason you don't see it very often, as you can tell. It is very, very difficult, but we did do it. Not too bad overall, I would say. Honestly, just quick shout outs. Thank you, Ek, for having me on. Thank you, GDQ, for having me on to show you guys a whole bunch of Thanksgiving related stuff, family related stuff. Just want to wish everyone to have a happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate, since now it's officially after midnight for me. Hope everyone has a good time, has good food. And yeah, shout outs to my commentator, Niddle. He's usually here for all my RE7 stuff, and he streams at twitch.tv/Niddle, also big horror runner, RE7 runner, and whatnot. And I if you want to catch me, I'm at twitch.tv/Captain Ezekiel. I'm also Captain Ezekiel on Twitter, Blue Sky. But more specifically, I'll be running at Awesome Games Done Quick 2026. Tuesday the 6th, I'll be starting the horror block with Silent Hill F. If you haven't seen Silent Hill F, I will be debuting that game there. So yeah, thanks again, guys. I appreciate y'all having me.
Absolutely. Thank you both for sticking around the whole show. It's fun being able to show off one of my favorite games, and I know one of both of your favorite games. Once again, if you missed either Captain Ezekiel or Niddle, I believe the links have been posted in chat. You can find them somewhere in there if you want to see more horror stuff. Anyway, that being said, thank you all for watching this episode of Speedruns from the Crypt. We're here every 2 weeks, and I thought it would be fun to put together a Thanksgiving special for you, because, well, in some time zones, it's already Thanksgiving. So hopefully you all have a wonderful time with, have a nice dinner with your family or friends if you're doing Friendsgiving. Or if you're just working throughout the week, hope you're able to have a nice, some time to relax, hopefully. Hopefully don't be too busy. Make sure you have plenty of good food and, well, I guess a good time. We'll be back in about 2 weeks. We'll be having more fun games as always. Before we go, just for a couple of announcements. For one, if you ever do miss any of the Hotfix shows, you can catch up on past shows, special events, and GDQ marathons over on youtube.com/gamesdonequick. If you're watching on YouTube, remember to like the video, comment, subscribe, and all of that to stay up to date. As well, thank you to anyone who did support Games Done Quick today with any bits, subs, and the like. It is very much appreciated, as it does keep the show going during the interim. That being said, in case you missed it, we have a replay coming up of both Crosshair and Speedruns from the Crypt. We do these after the show is all done, and you can tune in Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern for Fast Travel and Passion Project. All that being said, I've been your host, Dices. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, and